Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are you guys today?
Are we we're bi-coastal right now. Tony's in Boston. But are we do you have an echo, or I just hear your echo, Tony?
You might have heard my echo.
Okay.
My computer was not on mute, so we're good.
No worries. Just want to make sure we clean things up. How are you? How was the trip?
It was long, man. It was a welcome to the 2026 season. Getting in at 2:45 a.m.
Yeah, your first trip of the year was not a short one.
Nope, it wasn't, and that's okay though. That's okay. We made it here safely. It's cold as hell. Well, I guess that's a paradox there. It's not really cold as hell, but it's just it's cold.
Boston
right now.
can be even though it's April, and that's right. Well, there was originally some snow in the forecast tomorrow. Has that dissipated, or was there actually a chance for that tomorrow? Or do you know? I'm asking you weather questions, which I shouldn't.
You're asking me weather questions.
Yeah,
Scraby's asking me to refresh my camera. I don't really know how to do that.
Yeah, that's tricky. That's tricky. Don't ask me.
Here's what I'm gonna do: is I'm going to come out. You guys will still hear me, but I'm talking to Adam. I'm gonna log out of this and then log back in.
Log out and in. That's the way you go. As everybody knows, I have the ability to set up the camera when I'm on the road, but if it doesn't work perfectly the first time, I have no troubleshooting capabilities. So I totally understand your situation, Tony. But while you're doing that, I'm just, I know the Padres are struggling, and, the old struggle sauce and the reaction and the overreaction here and everything that's going on. We did a Padre roundtable this morning, and if you missed it, we'll play it again for everybody from 5 to 6 p.m. tonight. It was really good. I think everybody, kept their chin up a little bit, but overall, I don't think anybody's thrilled with a 2-4 homestand to start the season. But what I wanted to ask you, Tony, and I know you got in late last night, but the Red Sox are 1-5 right now. And I've got to assume that had there been such a thing as a Red Sox roundtable this morning, they probably would have been reacting very similarly to how we react to here in San Diego. I mean, they've been at this longer than we have. The Red Sox have been around longer, but they have the same kind of expectations for their team that we do here, right?
Yeah, but I think they handle it differently than we handle it.
Do you think they handle it better?
I think they handle it a lot better.
Yeah.
I think, they had, and I guess in our defense, San Diego's defense, they had like 100 years they had a long time before they won, and they were like super crabby about it.
Yeah,
like they had like
that's true.
They had like it doesn't matter what we do, we'll find a way to blow it type of attitude, right?
Yeah.
And then they won, and then they started winning a lot. And so now I've been around a lot of Boston fans. They tend not to start getting a little antsy until later on.
Okay.
Early portion is just, and this is also a cold weather spot. They're used to getting off to kind of slow starts. Weather heats up, warms up a little bit. These teams get going on the East Coast.
All right.
But I think they're both fan bases are in the same spot, right?
Yeah, nobody's happy. This isn't a must series, but I think both teams want to at least get 2 out of 3 here and feel like they're going back in the right direction, for sure. So,
yeah.
Well,
hopefully that happens.
Yeah, I'm looking. I'm just kind of the old misery loves company. I'm looking at the Red Sox a little bit, and Trevor Story's hitting 138. And Wilson Contreras, their big free agent acquisition, 150. He's 3 for 20. He doesn't have an extra base hit yet. Jarren Duran, their superstar young player, is 3 for 18 with no extra base hits yet. Even Roman Anthony's just 5 for 22. He does have 1 home run, but that's about all he can lean on. Marcelo Mayer, the kid from San Diego's 3 for 15. He's hitting 200. So, they're hitting 208. Padres are hitting, are we hitting 208? Oh, 202. They're ahead of us by 6 percentage points. But, I just think it's interesting. For us, it seems like 2-4. I think we are overreacting, Tony. I mean, from what I'm hearing, from what I'm hearing out there and what I'm reading. And I nobody thinks Craig Stammen is, maybe he's not the right choice. And maybe, our hitting coach, we didn't do the right thing. And, maybe we, didn't, get the right guys and bring them in here. And there's a lot of question marks. And I feel like Boston's 1-5 and nobody cares because they just expect that they'll be Boston. But why don't we expect that we'll be San Diego? We've been good for a long time here, 6-7 straight years. So why don't we have any confidence in our guys? I know you do, but everybody else.
It's a great question. I'm not sure why we go about it the way we go about it. I will say that, you can look around the league. I mean, whether we're talking Shohei Ohtani hitting below 200, Aaron Judge hitting below 200. Like, I mean, I don't know why we do this to ourselves every year. Like, we're 6 games into the season, for crying out loud. I mean, it was how great was the start last year, right? Everybody was feeling the same way, and then you got off to what was it, 15-2, something like that.
At least 7-0 in the first homestand. I remember that.
Yeah, first homestand, and then all of a sudden that was such a rosy picture, and then it teetered there for quite a bit thereafter.
Sure.
So, like, I guess have it how you want it. You want to get off to the grit start and then come back to the pack. You want to get off to a slow start and have a great, kind of second week. We'll see. I think all in all, I just look at it game by game. Yesterday was a step in the right direction. Got 10 hits, put up some runs, scored more than 3 for the first time in the season. You got a good start from your ace. He looked like he did in most of last year. And so that's what I'm going to go off of is the previous. Of course, my phone's going to ring right now. I turn the ringer off.
Yeah, there's somebody there's one of the Padre fans telling you that you should be more worried.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry. That's why you're getting declined.
You're getting declined. Do you wait? Now that you mention that, I've never had the guts to decline. I just let it ring out. I always feel like I'm being meaner if I decline. I don't know what the other person hears, but I don't like to decline.
I only decline spam calls. Like if it says spam, getting declined.
Bang.
Other ones I'll just let ring because I don't want to be a jerk. Like I don't want them to know I'm sending them a voice.
I mean, the only person I don't take calls from that I know is Adam Klug, and I just don't want to. Oh, sorry, he's working our show today. Oops.
You know what's funny?
Probably shouldn't have said that.
I used to feel the same way, but now when Adam calls, there's something that's like, you should answer this. So now I answer it. Yeah. But I used to let it ring and then call him back.
Call him back. Yeah. Well, hey, look, I go to the Jerry Seinfeld School of Phone Calls, and the Jerry Seinfeld always said that phone calls should be made on your free time, not the person calling's free time.
That's right.
And I think that's a good way to look at it. So
I haven't seen that episode. I'm
right.
Search for it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you don't have free time, you shouldn't have to take the call. But anyway, you guys are going to have a fun trip because not only do you get, Boston and Fenway and opening day and all that goes with that tomorrow, which I think is always kind of a lot. I mean, if you're going to sit through an opening day, you might as well sit through one, with the history to it and Fenway Park and that whole thing.
Not mad at that at all.
Exactly. And then you go to Pittsburgh, which now has quickly become the center of the baseball universe for a few days because Connor Griffin, I don't know how to rate him, but he sure seems like he's being talked about as one of the greatest prospects ever to come along, and that's not fair to him. But he's going to make his debut tomorrow, so you guys will get to see him next week, and you'll finally get to see Paul Skeens unless he tries to duck the Padres again next week. So you got a good.
I think he's lined up to pitch the last game of that series. So
can you imagine if something's got a little tired arm or something? He sits out an extra day, and we miss him for the 5th straight series. Going back to the beginning of his career.
Last year, I know at some point I said I want to see it. If I'm not mad if we miss Paul Skeens, man. Like,
I know. Yeah,
we haven't missed any of the good ones yet. So I wouldn't be mad if somehow he was like, we're going to hold him out for a day. I wouldn't be mad at that at all.
Are you in the mood to see Carmen Mlodzinski instead pitch for the Pirates? I think you should be.
Let me tell you guys, because see, this is part of the issue. I need everybody to do the research on the Pittsburgh Pirates pitching staff.
Yeah, they're pretty good, actually.
It's not bad at all.
They've got some really nice young arms. We know about Skeens, but you probably don't know as much about Bubba Chandler, who's a very highly touted prospect. I mentioned Mlodzinski pitched a really good game his first time out, and then Mitch Keller is always good for Pittsburgh. Yep. So, that's not going to be easy either. Padres have faced some good pitching so far. I mean, 6 games where you haven't put up big numbers, but I would say 3 of them are against bona fide ace pitchers. I mean, you got Skubal, Valdez, and Webb. Those are 3 of the best in all of baseball.
And then Roop pitched out of his mind.
And Roop had the game of his life.
I don't know who that dude. I don't know who that.
That wasn't Roop. Yeah, that was somebody wearing Roop's uniform the other night. Well, anyway, look, I gotta ask you a couple of things. We're coming up on a break, our first break of the day. But one thing I want to really get into with you, because I know you and Jesse caught some of it yesterday. I was sitting on the couch and I was like, all right, what's going on here? So I want to know whether it was gamesmanship or whether it was crossing the line. And we're talking about Tony Vitello and the way he utilized his trainer in the 8th inning against the Padres yesterday. I like to get your thoughts on that kind of stuff, Tony. So,
well, let's do this. Let's get to the other side.
Yeah.
And I'll give you my take on what actually happened in that ball game, because it was, I would say, I guess the best word is awkward. An awkward moment there on the mound.
Right, yeah.
And it was probably a first of its kind. I'll get into it all. We got a lot of show lined up. We're off an hour earlier because you guys will get the chance to hear that roundtable that we had earlier today. I wasn't a part of it. I haven't got a chance to hear it. I'll probably hang around and listen to it a little bit later on. But it's just Chris and I today. Scrape, I believe he was with the earlier show, wasn't he?
Scraby got a promotion for one day, and
how about that?
Yeah, as soon as the show was over, Adam went in and revoked the promotion. So
yeah, what a team player! What a team player! Scrape ditched us for his own show.
He had no problem leaving us. He was like, "Really? Okay, great, I'm out of here."
All right, let's get to break. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side. Hey.
Chris. West Coast, East Coast. I don't really care for the word bicoastal. I've never really liked it. A lot of people use it to describe relationships, but I don't care for it. So I'm just going to say you're in Boston, I'm in San Diego, and away we go.
He's on the West, I'm on the East.
Yeah, simple as that.
Simple as that, yep.
Yeah, Bill Howe Studios here in San Diego, where we know how. And as mentioned, the debut of the epic Padres Roundtable took place this morning from 9 to 10 a.m. We're going to play it again after our show from 5 to 6. Padres obviously do have the day off. Pretty much everybody does in baseball. There's a couple of games later. I think the Giants are playing the Mets tonight. But otherwise, everybody getting a little time to take a day here. Okay, so we talked about this in the last segment. The Padres beat the Giants 7-1 yesterday. I don't know if everybody caught it in the 8th inning. Maybe some people might even been on their way out because the Padres already put the game away. But there was a situation there. And there was one other situation that I also want to ask you about with Matt Chapman and our Aztec for Life guy, Casey Schmidt. So let's start with the Vitello thing in the 8th inning, Tony. His pitchers obviously doesn't have it. Jose Butto is a pretty good reliever normally. He gave up the 2-run home run, but more than that, he was just walking everybody. I think he walked 4 in a row or 4 out of 5 hitters, and it was pretty obvious at that point that Vitello either take him out of the game or it's managerial mispractice to keep him out there and just, let him get slaughtered. That's not what you can do early. So he obviously had to make a move, but the guy he had throwing in the bullpen was more of a high leverage guy. And now the score was 7-1. So the lower leverage guy did not have time to warm up properly, but Vitello couldn't wait. So he brought out the trainer with him to check on Butto, and I just saw right through it. It looked to me like, the trainer said, well, let's just kind of fake it. Because Butto looked at the trainer in my mind and said, like, what are you doing out here? But, you were there, Tony, so you describe it. My question is, did Tony Vitello pull a good one or pull a fast one here?
Neither.
Okay.
Here, and this is the tough part about kind of watching from TV and trying to kind of fill in the blanks there.
Right. True.
So indeed, Butto was brought in. He was on a back-to-back, and you could see that he just wasn't right. We just watched this guy throw 16 pitches the day before, and he looked great. And so at some point in the AB, there was I think it was just going to be a normal process. They got somebody up. He looked to the bench.
He did. Okay.
After one of the second, I think maybe the second walk, or maybe he got 3-0 on the next guy. He looked in the bench, and it was it was just a long look, which is why I noticed it. And I turned to Jess. I said, he might be hurt. Like, I just kind of mouthed it because we were on air, obviously.
Okay.
And then I see Vitello, and listen, this is not a Tony Vitello problem. This is a new manager problem, right? So he got the look, and he hesitated for a second, and then he looked down to the bench, and you could see him like kind of gesturing down towards in the bench. And so the trainer, who I don't think had saw Butto's look in or was even aware of what was going on, came and stood next to him. And you could see Butto like really going through it on the mound. Like, he seemed like he was hurting. And so at some point, I think the trainer said something to Vitello, and then he kind of started to go out. He stopped, and then they both went out. And so at that point, the thing that was more weird to me, and this may be Vitello still kind of understanding his ball club, because talking to the folks around the organization, he's not what you think he is. He's not a Mr. Know-It-All or my way or the highway. They say he's almost too much the opposite way.
Oh, isn't sure of himself necessarily.
Right. Like, he's almost trying to observe too much and read too much. Because when you watched him on the mound, he was like not even on it. He was like on the grass. Everybody else, including the players and the trainer, are all on the mound,
Yeah.
And it almost looked like he was an outsider. There was a distinct shot they have where everybody's on the mound and he is off of it. And you can see Budo, like, I think he was more frustrated that he was feeling whatever he was feeling at the time. I don't know his injury history. I know he came out of the game. They said that it was elbow tightness later on. So I think he was going through some of those emotions. But the weird part for me was, typically when a manager comes out, like he's standing shoulder to shoulder with the trainer as they're trying to figure it out. He just kind of stood off to the back and kind of
That's what threw me, because it just didn't look like a typical situation where you're taking a guy out of the game because he's hurt. It looked like they were all figuring it out as they were going along. And so that's what tipped me off to, you know what, he might be trying to play the system here.
Yeah, I think his lack of, I shouldn't say lack of, just not necessarily understanding where he should be in that spot made it look weirder than it actually was. But I think my man Budo was hurt, and they were just trying to get him out of there.
All right.
To your second thing, because I already know which one you're about to talk about in terms of
Chapman telling Schmidt, catch the bleeping ball. What'd you think? Twice, yes. What'd we think of that? Is it leadership, or is that not fair to undress your teammate like that? Or maybe that's both again.
It's probably both.
Yeah.
I think that what's interesting, and it's a very unique feeling being on a team, not a college team, not a high, but being in an environment where a grown men ranging from 22, and this is in the Pittsburgh case, 19 to 36,
right?
And the different approaches, right? Matt is Chapman's, I want to say he's like early 30s, maybe.
I can give it to you here real quick. He is 32.
It's 32, and
Casey can't be more than 24 or 5. Let me look him up real quick. And in 27, actually. Casey's a little older than I thought.
So he can handle it. I mean, listen, I think every young dude has that moment when you realize, oh man, I'm playing this like
I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, this is serious. They don't like it when you drop the ball up here. I can't do that.
It's a competitive environment, and you got to respect it. Even though there probably was a better way for Chapman to do it in the heat of the moment, he already gave you a pass on the first one.
Yeah.
But the second one, it was like, all right, dude, we've given up these games. By the way, the game really wasn't out of hand, and those were the only runs we had for the most part.
No doubt.
And so I could see where Matt was coming from. And I tell you what, I thought Casey handled it the way he should. He heard it. He might have. I don't know if he said, "What'd you say the first time?" to make him say it again.
Yeah.
But after he heard it the second time, he did exactly what he should do. He ate it.
Yeah.
And just kind of moved on. They talked about it in the clubhouse, which is how it should go afterwards.
Yeah, Chapman apologized from what I understand, and that's the way that should be, exactly, in my mind. So
and I think that is, it may be uncomfortable for some of us to watch and like put ourselves in those shoes, but when you're in that environment, it's kind of part of it. It's kind of part of it.
There's no doubt, Tony, when you know darn well, I don't know that you ever did this, or if you'd be willing to admit it. So I'll ask you, but let's put you in center field and let's have you race over into right center and cut off a ball that's headed for the gap. And now let's see that runner try to go first to third, and let's see you spin all the way around and make the best throw you've ever made. That's going to get the runner by 2 feet. And it's going to be on all the ESPN highlights, because this is incredible play. If the third baseman drops the ball on the tag, you're not going to run and yell at him, but under your breath, aren't you saying, "Oh, dude, come on"? I put it right there.
Without a doubt. I'll admit, I've definitely, after multiple times of the same thing happening, said, "Hey man, you got to catch the ball." And it wasn't that nice. You know what I'm saying? I didn't say it.
I get it.
And in their credit, they ate it. They knew. My bad. You're right. And you move on from it. Those type of things happen when you care about winning.
I agree.
And you're serious about what you do.
The one difference in baseball, too, like in basketball, if Michael Jordan passes you the ball and you fumble it out of bounds and you give it to him,
he's not giving it to you again.
He's not going to give it to you again. But in baseball, you got to throw it to the third baseman, right? If the guy's running to third, you can't say, can you bring someone else in? Because I don't want to throw it to you.
And that's exactly why you can't approach it the same way every time. And maybe it's after, in this case, the second throw that was dropped, that was like, all right, man, listen, I gave you a pass the first time, but we in the big leagues, you got to catch that ball. And I'm sure Casey knew that, which is why he just ate it and moved on.
I will just say one last thing about the whole the two plays yesterday. Maybe by the letter of the law, because on neither throw, it looked like Schmidt got his glove on it. So Chapman was given both errors. One of them was changed today.
Yeah. Oh, they changed it back?
They changed the first one back to Chapman. So as it stands right now, Chapman got both errors. And I just think anybody who knows anything about the game, and Casey Schmidt himself would say, no, I should have got both errors, not Chapman. I don't, that kind of bugs me. But
the first one, I gave him a pass, like, all right, that one could have gone either way. I would venture to say that it was definitely Casey should have caught the ball, but I could see how they could kind of go both ways. But the last one, I mean, that's just I watched my son do that in a Little League game the other day. Like, worry about the stretch first.
Stretched first. That's exactly what happened, Tony. You're right. Yeah.
That one definitely should have been on Casey for sure.
All right, SDFC. We'll get to some soccer when we come back. They're 3-0-2, another great start to the season, although the last two matches have been draws, not wins. Is there any concern? They're back in action against San Jose's Earthquakes. We'll talk about that, some MLS, our weekly visit when we come back on Gwynn and Chris. Gwynn.
5:35 here in Boston.
Boston. I don't know that you did a Boston accent there. Mine was actually closer, I think.
Boston?
Boston. I don't know.
I think Boston folks might disagree, but
they probably would. Yeah, they probably would.
2:36 out in San Diego, and Mark Rogadino will join us here shortly, talk a little MLS soccer. SDFC still undefeated. What is that?
What is that?
It's a Boston song. This is straight off of Rizzoli and Isles, this TV show that used to air, based in Boston as well.
How about playing the theme from Cheers? That also was based in Boston. Adam,
you guys don't know Dropkick Murphys?
I've heard that song. I didn't know that was a Boston thing. Yeah,
I didn't put it together until like you said something though.
Yeah, I didn't know. Were you at Cheers today, Tony? I would have immediately gone over there and sat at the corner bar. That's actually not a bar anymore. It's more of a museum, but the place is still there where they shot the outside shot of Cheers.
I forced myself out of bed at 11:30.
Yeah,
I got a workout in.
Oh, good.
I ate, and then it was time to record some spots, and then come on over here.
Here we
Talk to you, buddy.
Here we are. All right. Well, real quick before Mark Rogadino comes on, you mentioned a lot of people keep asking, why did Mason Miller go 4 outs yesterday, but he couldn't go 4 out, blah, 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 blah. And people do everything is different, right? Friday night, there was a game the next day. Yesterday, there was not a game the next day as a day off. Number one. Number two, there was a little more importance to the game yesterday. I think you had to nail it down. And I think there was actually some thought of taking him out after the 8th inning because they had such a big lead, but he wanted to go finish. And so if he tells me I want to go finish, he gets to finish. That's how I look at it. I'm so happy we have him, Tony. Every time he comes into the game, I just feel like this is, just so fun to watch because it's not happening to my team. It's happening for my team.
Yeah, I think he hadn't pitched since the 3rd game against Detroit. He didn't pitch any games before that.
Yeah.
As you said, they had a game the next day. In the previous case, they had no game the next day. And he hadn't pitched in 2 days prior to that. So I think this was a no-brainer. I think they would have taken him out had they scored more runs, but they kept it. It stayed 7, whatever, was 7-1, I think.
Yeah.
It stayed there. So he was able to go out and get his work in. Off day today. He'll be available tomorrow.
5 hitters, 3 strikeouts. That's a 60% rate. And I know that's one game. So give me a larger sample size. Okay. How about 44% last season? Like it's 50-50 whether somebody's going to touch the ball against this guy.
If he's throwing his slider like he threw it
forget
yesterday,
it. Yeah, it's
not
a
wrap.
It's more than 50-50.
He's not going to get hit all year.
Yeah, it's more than 50-50. Yeah, Rise did get a base hit on a good swing on a fastball, but Mason Miller, this is incredible. And I know there are people, and I'm going to keep reminding you just in case you're a Leo DeVries fanatic and Leo DeVries goes on to greatness. Right now, we're getting Mason Miller for free. And that's how I look at it. So, he's going to pile up a big lead over Leo DeVries before DeVries ever breaks to the big leagues. And I think that's something you got to remember, because maybe 15 years from now, you might say, well, I can't believe the Padres ever traded Leo DeVries. That would be rewriting history, because right now history favors the Padres clearly.
If it takes you 15 years to get to say, dang.
Right.
You probably in trouble anyway.
Well, I what I'm likening it to is the famous John Smoltz to the Braves trade. The Tigers traded John Smoltz, who had never pitched, yet to the Braves. And the Tigers got a guy named Doyle Alexander, who went 9-0, by the way, when he joined them and led them to the title. But forevermore, that has always been a cautionary tale to the Tigers because they gave up a Hall of Fame pitcher. I still say they got what they wanted also. That's how it works.
No, they did. That's exactly how it works.
Yep.
I haven't heard. Is Adam ready
Yes, yet? I think we have our guy.
Okay, let's get to our guest today. Mark Rogodino joins us of MLS on Apple TV on the SDCCU fan hotline. It's not big bank banking. It's better. Mark, thank you for your time today. How are you?
Gentlemen, how are you? Tony, it's our first time together, but I grew up in San Diego as a native and watched your dad many, many times. And Chris, it's been a minute, but we go way back.
I know. I recognize you, and I was excited to hear you coming on today. It's good to catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys got a good thing going with if the Padres aren't doing it right now, there's that team at Snapdragon Stadium that's absolutely crushing it as sophomore season in Major League Soccer.
Yeah, Mark, let's talk a little bit about SDFC. I mean, they came out, shocked the world last year in terms of how they came out as an expansion team. Year 2, off to a good start. 3-0-2, 2 ties the last two matches. What have you seen from them this year? Does this look like a continuation, a team that has been able to kind of build on for what they did last year? And do you expect to see it continue to move that way?
Well, I would 100% say it's a continuation. And if you ask head coach Mikey Veras, he would tell you he thinks it's even better here in 2026 than it was in 2025. I think part of the reason, if people just looked at the record and said, oh, well, they drew at Dallas 3-3 and then the 2-2 result with Real Salt Lake, I think people would not look in between the lines, so to speak, and understand it was a congested calendar of games because, remember, they were playing in the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which is all the teams from the CONCACAF region in a knockout-style competition. And they eventually get knocked out by Toluca, who's one of the best teams in Mexico right now. And so when they play 5 games in 15 days, the result is you might have a couple of draws in Major League Soccer. And I think that's what happened. But now they've had 2 weeks since that all went down. They've got one competition to focus on, and that's the regular season of MLS. And it's a deep team, a good team. And going to San Jose to take on the Earthquakes this season will provide another test. But if you're asking me who the favorite is going in this weekend, I think you have to say it's San Diego.
Mark Rogodino is one of the great play-by-play guys for MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. The match will be on Apple TV. And remember, if you aren't aware, maybe you're thinking back, last year there was another paywall to get you to the soccer. Now, go to Apple TV, click, watch the match. That's it. Simple as that. San Diego FC taking on San Jose. And Mark, I'm looking at San Jose Earthquakes, and I'm not a great scout of soccer. However, when I see that they've played 5 games and only allowed 1 goal, tells me that they're doing something right, at least defending their half of the field. They have 4 clean sheets already in 5 matches. That seems like SDFC will have a challenge there.
Yes, they will. They have gotten some consistency, they being San Jose, at the goalkeeping position. They've had a Brazilian keeper for the last couple of years named Daniel. He battled injury off and on over the last couple of seasons, and he's been the guy this season. And so not only that, but I think that Bruce Arena, one of the legendary coaches in American soccer, he has been able to solidify who he wants as his backbone of the defense in front of Daniel as well. Where in last season, his first season in charge of the Quakes, I think it was a little bit of a guessing game in and game out, who was going to be the back 4. He had a stable of about 7 different guys that he would pull from, and depending on injury status, international call-ups, and just any given week, you didn't know who were going to be the 4 back there. So he solidified who he wants back there. Couple of young guys in the middle, Daniel Muni, Reed Roberts, but very, very good young defenders in this league. And, I think, yes, when you look at it, Chris, to answer the question, have they gotten improvement defensively? The answer is outstanding. Yes, of course they have. But, they still are a team that is in the works and trying to figure it out, but they're off to a really good start this season so far.
Mark, one of the things this year that we've seen from SDFC is a lot of young guys contributing and getting some playing time. We know that SDFC is really put a lot of effort into, having developing younger players. It seems to be a part of the program here. Are these younger guys that we're seeing getting some minutes now, are they a part of the rotation moving forward, or is this kind of a thing where you kind of give them a shot and you're going to kind of piecemeal it as we go?
Well, let's start with last time out 2 weeks ago, Christopher McVeigh, who's not a young guy, 28-year-old Swedish defender. He picked up a second yellow, so he was shown red card in that game, 2-2 against Salt Lake. So he will not be available. So you're going to need one of these young guys to step up next to Manu Dua, who's the 20-year-old, first-round draft pick, really good center back, the Ghanaian defender. So I think it's probably, my guess is going to be Ozzie Sue, who got his first MLS start a couple of weeks ago in Dallas. Had a couple of touchy moments where he didn't look completely comfortable, but for I think he's 19 or 20 years old, for a young guy like that, he looked pretty good on the ball at times too. So I would expect him and Manu to start next to each other. But, you've got a guy like Luca Bombino, who's just 19 years old. He's been a fixture at the outside back position. He's been really good. Oscar Verhoeven, he's only 19, Northern California native, actually came from the Quakes and was loaned to San Diego last year, so a little bit of a homecoming if he sees some minutes in this game. So I think the answer to your question really, Tony, is these young guys are a fixture. This is part of what Mike Veras and San Diego FC are doing, but it really helps when you have a guy like Anders Dreyer, who's become one of the stars in the league. You have Amal Pellegrino, 35-year-old Norwegian. He's seen and done a lot of things both overseas and now in MLS. And of course, Oni Valakari. I mean, what can you say about this guy? He's just been rock solid since he put on a San Diego shirt.
Mark, I always look for a good name, when I find a new team. And the name that stood out to me from day one last year was Ingvartsen. And he got hurt. He didn't end up playing a whole lot last year. Well, he's playing this year, Marcus Ingvartsen. He's got 4 goals, actually leads the team. And he's also a Dane, like Dreyer is. So they're making quite a duo up there up front. And, we've talked about this with a couple of the other broadcasters, but the fact that they've grown up, I imagine, together playing soccer, they have a pretty good feel for each other, and it seems to show.
Yes, and I think the original plan was Ingvartsen was going to be a huge piece of the puzzle last year, right? But he did get hurt, and so now you're seeing what he's able to bring to the table. By the way, Chris, I thought you were going to say, I'm just flexing some of these Scandinavian pronunciations back from the gold hockey days.
Yeah, right. Yes, I'm using my old experience there on this. Yeah.
But, I think that they provide a really good tandem up top. For me, Dreyer is the guy that pulls the strings, right? He's the guy that not only can he score, but he really puts a guy like Ingvartsen in really dangerous positions, brings other guys like Valakari into the fold and can beat guys one-on-one on his own. So, and even further to your point, there are some tough names. The first couple of times that I called a couple of San Diego games, I mean, there's some. The other name is Jeppe Tavesco, and he's the other Danish midfielder.
There you go.
He's really good in the midfield too. By the way, where's the captain's armband? Sometimes, they got quite a few names. They got a nice little Danish contingency that is forming for this nucleus of this club, and you have to like, if you're a San Diego FC fan, you got to love the direction that the club continues to thrive in.
Mark Rogandino joins us here on Gwynn and Chris. You hear his voice on MLS, one of the fantastic broadcasters they have. And Mark, in at least the sport that I played, and a lot of the sports that we see, when there's a player and there's a disagreement and the team is ready to move on, they typically move pretty fast in order to alleviate any distraction. That hasn't been the case with Chucky Lozano. It seemed like they had made the decision coming into the year that he was not going to be a part of this, but they haven't moved him yet. Is this a kind of how MLS works in terms of, moving a player that is no longer, services are no longer needed? Or is there a chance that they can reconcile this team? Because it certainly didn't seem like that at one point.
The first part of the question, I can't speak to the inner workings of what is going on there because I'm not privy to all of those conversations. But I would say the second part of the question is there is no working this out. His time in the San Diego shirt is done. In fact, I don't think Mikey Veras has been really shy about it, and the general manager too, that they're moving on. And I just think that there's some sort of stalemate in there as to where they send him, who wants him right now. I mean, he was good when he had some minutes last year, but I think that there was this is my own opinion, I think there was some sort of disagreement in philosophy, and maybe Chucky felt like, hey, I'm one of your big stars. You have to accommodate me and my wishes sometimes. And I don't think that that's the philosophy of San Diego at all. This is a club about the sum of the parts altogether. And when they play collective and there's nobody bigger in the team than the team itself, that's how they've had success.
Mark, we got a couple minutes left, and I'm going to steal you for those couple of minutes to give us just an overall soccer view on a couple of things that happened in the last week in the world of soccer. One was Denmark failing to make the World Cup, and as part of that, Dreyer was actually had one of his penalty kicks stopped, and that helped Czechia advance. I don't. That's just a one-time shot, but does that carry over? And two, I cannot believe with 48 world countries, Italy once again is not in the World Cup. Is that like, how insane is that? It's almost like they take the Dallas Cowboys out of the NFL for a year. That's how I look at it.
No, you're not wrong. I mean, and I guess it kind of shows you, to answer the question about Italy, I think it shows you, changing of the guard, right? There's other nations that are catching up, especially in Europe, and making life more difficult for the Italy, France, Spain. For the Sweden barely just qualified, and they were a team usually, say, 12, 16 years ago, you would pencil in as a team that would qualify. So it's getting tougher. And the analogy I would use, Chris, would be, remember when the U.S. women's national team used to just crush everybody?
Yeah,
that doesn't happen anymore, right? There's the gap has closed, and teams and nations, so to speak, have gotten better, and consequently it's a more competitive route and a more competitive opportunity to try and qualify for a World Cup. But I would say, hey, my last name is Rogandino, even though I'm from San Diego, but I would say the World Cup is better when you have the Azzurri in there. When you
Come on, yeah.
But that's just me. And then about Anders Dreyer, I think that they would not have probably even put themselves in the penalty kick situation if it wasn't for guys like him who substituted on and played a role in that game.
Yeah.
So yes, he missed it, and it probably will have it had a little lingering effect for a couple of days. But this guy's a baller, and he's going to be ready to go when he puts the San Diego FC shirt back on and gets a chance to step out this weekend up in San Jose.
Mark, it's a pleasure, man. We appreciate you coming on and talking some soccer with us. Hopefully we get to do it again down the line.
Just to echo Chris's sentiment, hey, if it's free, it's for me. So you can catch all the games on Apple TV, and you'll catch Heath Pearson, my partner, and I, as well as all the rest of the games over there on the Apple TV app. Thanks, guys.
And it's clear that Mark has known me for a long time, because that has always been my saying. If it's free, it's for me. So
Mark Rogandino there, MLS. That was a fun little segment there. All right, we got a couple minutes left, Chris, before we get out of here, or before we get out of here for break.
I just can't imagine what happened in the, we're sitting here and the Padres are 2-4 and we're like, oh my God. And, Boston's 1-5 and then, and they're probably wondering, but I mean, can we even imagine what was happening in the streets of Rome when they missed, I think they missed 3 penalty kicks at the end of that match. It was incredible.
They weren't even close. Either.
No.
I mean, like 20 feet above the goal. I will say they might be used to it now. This is like the third time in a row. I think they've missed it.
True, but still, man, in Italy, and those guys may want to go on vacation before they come back to Rome.
For real.
Face the folks there. They're not playing.
They're not playing there.
Hey,
man.
let's welcome our guys back. No, let's not welcome them back.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, little daily Gambit coming your way. More Gwynn and Chris.
Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. on the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick, so goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. That was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. It's going. Oh, man. This is hot. Not that bad, though. I still have this side to go. It is getting hot. I'm not gonna lie. My mouth is like getting crazy. Now it's kicking in. I'm not sure if I'm gonna finish this. Honestly, it's getting serious. I gotta go with the milk. My mouth is dying right now. Yeah, this is not fun, guys. Never gonna do that again because my mouth is on fire. Thank you for listening to 97.3 The Fan. Be back shortly. I would be back shortly if the thing will click. See, I'm clicking. I'm clicking. I have no idea what's happening. It's not playing any commercials right now. Well, this is just great, everybody. Let me see if I could try to start another one. All right. Well, this is awesome. On the air right now with no help, and there are no commercials to be played. Actually, you know what I'm going to do, everybody? You're getting a real live thing right here. This is real live Matt Scraby. I'm going to have to restart Wide Orbit real quick, so goodbye, Wide Orbit. It's not even closing. I'm going to text Adam, and I'm going to say, Adam, I tried to go to break and the commercials did not play, and the program won't shut down. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to have to do some Control-Alt-Delete over here. Control-Alt-Delete. Okay, I got it. Task Manager. It's not coming up. There it goes. Task Manager came up, everybody. I have no idea. I'm way too generous with my stroke giving. Never mind.
Are you really?
Never mind.
Wait.
I did not mean for that to happen. I did not.
That sounds like a promo to me.
Scraby's giving out strokes. I can't wait to hear that one. I'm gonna laugh for a while on that one.
Nate says, Scraby, maybe you should date her.
You might be a generous stroke giver, but I don't think she really wants to leave her boyfriend for that.
All right, that was good. That was good. In full disclosure, I'm reading this. Tony can't gather himself right now. That was a good one, Chris. That was a really good one. So I saw this at 7-Eleven, and I had to get it. It's called the One Chip Challenge. It was sitting there in the aisle, and I thought, why not? Because I am into spicy stuff. But this thing looks pretty hot. I'm not going to lie. It says a Reaper pepper and a Scorpion pepper. It's also in the shape of a coffin, which doesn't make me very happy about that. It doesn't make me feel good. Oh, extreme heat, it says. I'm going to try a little bit first, just so I don't die, I guess. That's the thing I'm saying. This looks... I don't even know if I should be eating this. It looks like it has mold or something, but let's see how hot it is. Let's go. There's a little bit of spice there. Let's go.
Heading into hour number 2 of Gwynn and Chris with myself and Adam Klug. We haven't heard much from you yet today, Adam Klug. You've been sitting there quietly. Do you want to throw anything in?
Yeah, after I messed up the Boston song that you guys didn't recognize, I'm just going to sit back and relax.
You're sulking over there
They're
because
not
of
sulking,
your...
don't want to mess up again.
It was like he used the challenge in the first inning and was scared to use one
Right.
in the game at this point.
Yes, and we did mention that.
Gotta save it for when I'm really sure it's worth doing.
Somebody tell Freddie for me and the same thing. Look, we're all learning, but that was not the best time for a challenge yesterday. Padres end up winning 7-1, though. Try to get a little something going here on this road trip starting in Boston tomorrow morning. The game is at 11:15. Of course, Tony and Jesse will have the call. We'll be on after the game. Scraby and I with some post-game show. Got a big 5 coming up here in just a moment, including big one tonight for the Lakers, Tony. I imagine you may find a place to watch this, although it's going to be a little late for you, a little later.
Yeah, I got to make a decision. If I want my sleep and I want to keep living a healthy style, or do I want to
get out of here?
I'm gonna probably pick the Lakers, just so you know.
Yeah, I like a healthy Tony Gwynn, but I knew you when I like the unhealthy one too. It's okay. You can.
What does that mean?
I know. I don't know what that means at all. I just know that you're gonna have to stay up till about midnight your time to watch the Lake show tonight.
It's only 9 o'clock, really, my time.
Right. That's what
point,
I've done that before. When I'm on the road on the East Coast and it's like 1:30 and I'm still scrolling Instagram and I'm like, yeah, but it's only 10:30 in San Diego. I got a couple more hours I can stay up.
The only problem is then you sleep like you're still in San Diego. Then it's like 12 o'clock the next day.
Yes, that is the Eastern time zone is and I think it's only going that way. I don't know coming this way if it's the same thing for the people who live east and play in the West, but for us, it's definitely a factor. We'll have the game tomorrow. Don't forget later today from 5 to 6. Our first epic roundtable of the year. You'll hear everything we had to say about the Padres. Right now, though, we got Lakers, we got OKC, we got some good matchups tonight. Let's take a look at our daily Gambit.
Do you like money?
I think about money a lot.
Do you like money without doing anything?
Winning.
Do you want to make money while watching sports?
I think Washington is immortal luck.
Washington! Woohoo! If you answered yes, this is your segment. Just don't blame us when you lose.
Nothing is ever your fault.
It's your game. Take it.
Gwynn and Chris go through the top bets of the day in The Daily Gambit on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, at this point in the show, Scrappy usually reads some nonsense about what the Daily Gambit's all about, but we have fun. We take a look at some of the games, and we make sure and remind you that you gamble responsibly out there, which basically means if you don't have the money, don't bet it. Because there is some crazy stuff that happens in these things. I know the other night.
If you ain't got it, just say you ain't got it.
You ain't got it. Yeah. Just move on. And when you get some and you have a little, free time and some free money and you want to play, have some fun. Jackson Merrill, by the way, his 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning the other night. That gave a victory to the Padre bettors that night. Giants were favored in that game by 1.5 runs. Jackson Merrill's shot made it a 1-run game. So that's
I'm sure his DMs was filled up. Actually.
Right. He probably had some people who told him, and he was like, I don't care that I did that. If it would have been a 3-run shot, it would have been a whole different story. All right. Let's see. The week, Scraby and I have done some picks here and there. I think I'm 9-7 something, so it's not important. Tony jumps in here today. Let's start with this, Tony. Well, we'll start with your game. The Lakers, I don't know. They don't get any respect here. They're having an incredible run. Doncic has been absolutely unstoppable. Yet Oklahoma City is favored by 9.5 points tonight. Now, I know the game's movement. I know
that's movement. They were like 17 earlier in the year.
Okay,
Lakers.
so you're happy with the 9.5. You feel like you've moved up a little bit. Yeah, I looked. I think these are the two most unstoppable forces in the league, are they not? You got SGA, who I don't think can be guarded, and you got Luka, who I know cannot be guarded right now. It just should be a lot of fun to watch this, even if you're not a fan of either team.
Yeah, Luka's on a whole nother planet right now. SGA is still in his MVP mode. So, yeah, this is a good matchup. I'm going Lakers, especially at 9. I think they could definitely keep it closer than that.
9.5. Yeah, you get 9.5. I'll take the Lakers too. I'm pretty gung ho on the Lakers right now. I'm curious as a hardcore Laker guy, and you look at the West right now. Lakers have won 4 straight, but San Antonio's won 10 straight. OKC's won 3 straight. Denver's won 7 straight. Houston's won 4 straight. All of these teams look like they're rounding into form. And we know in the playoffs, defense matters. So you've watched enough of the Lakers. Will they be able to shut some teams down when need be?
I think they will. I think they have figured out how to play good team defense. Now, the problem with that, especially in the postseason, when you don't have every team that gets deep seems to have one guy that can lock you down. That's like a bonus, or a couple guys that can do that.
Yeah.
I don't know that the Lakers have. They're better team defense. So I think it's going to have to be their offense that is the thing that carries them through this. But I think their defense is much improved. They seem to like each other, which was a big thing earlier in the season. And I still say that a lot of the poor play was due to the fact that they didn't have Reeves, Doncic, and LeBron on the floor, especially early in the season for a while. Once they had some games under their belt, they've been like this pretty much the whole time.
I want to say one thing. The Lakers do have a guy who at least used to be a lockdown defender, and that's Marcus Smart. I don't know how much of that game he still has left, Tony. You've watched him. I've seen him do it before. I don't know if it's, the Boston Marcus Smart. So we may find out in the playoffs. Comes down to that.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I don't know. Marcus hasn't had to necessarily have been asked to do that at this point. We'll see. That could change come postseason.
All right. Who's going to score more tonight? I know who you're going to pick, but I think it's an interesting wager. Both guys have 32 points as their number, and that's Luka and SGA. And I don't see how you pick in between them. But I'll go Luka because he's on one of the word is heater, is it not?
Heater. He's on one.
He is on a heater.
I'm not sure that. It would take a ridiculous game from all three. 32 ain't enough for Luka in this matchup. I think he needs more than 32. So I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna take him for sure.
He averaged. What did he score? 600 points in the month of March. Yes. Which I don't think's ever been done, even by, maybe Wilt did that or something. But, it's crazy. All right, the Clippers, I know you're not a big Clipper guy, but I want to say this and remind people, they were once 15 games below 500 this year. If this holds up and they get into the playoffs, which right now they would qualify, they'd be the first team ever to do that, Tony, ever, to go from 15 games under in the same season and make the playoffs. And Kawhi has got to be the reason why, because they've almost been more successful without James Harden, which doesn't make sense to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's hard for me to build up some good stuff for the Clippers. They are.
But you do love Kawhi. Come on.
I do. I love Kawhi. And I think it's funny that so many people have talked so much trash about Kawhi, but here we are.
Here we are again.
Without Harden, they was calling him, broken, and all he's done is gone out and just been the steady Kawhi Leonard that he always is. And so I'm not surprised that the Clippers are there. They got Kawhi.
He is really he is something. Absolutely. Is it possible that he's still underrated, even with 2 Finals MVPs? I think he still is underrated. I do.
I don't know that he's underrated. I think his injuries have made the rating, I think, appropriate.
Okay. The Clippers do catch a break tonight because the Spurs are giving Wemby a rest night, apparently. He's not on the sheet here for scoring, so I'm assuming Wembanyama will be out tonight. So I'll take the Clippers minus 2.5. Spurs are still pretty good. They've won 10 in a row.
Yeah, I'm taking the Spurs.
Take the Spurs anyway. Do you like Wembanyama just basically coming out and saying, I am the MVP, it's not even close? Or do you feel some type of way about that?
I don't feel a way about it anymore. I think I would expect that every generation now, for a while after LeBron's generation, will say things like that, because I think that's how they've seen it
Play
as
out.
they grew up.
Yeah. Okay. I would vote for Luka. I'm not in charge, but that's me.
I've heard some good arguments on this one. I mean,
yeah, it's open. There's some other guys too.
Here's the deal. Like the year James Harden won it, right? Because in this year and in James Harden year, there's the conversation about, well, does he play on both sides of the floor? Well, no, but his offense is that good that he can get away with that, right?
Yeah, Lucas is that good.
outside of those two, right? Everybody else has had some type of defensive element to their game, for the most part, to win the MVP. Maybe Steve Nash is another one that didn't necessarily have that. But that's the argument that they're holding against Luka right now, is that, well, Jaylen Brown, he plays D. SGA, his defensive rating is higher. Jokic, his defensive rating is higher. That's how they're parsing this right now, and I think it's unfair to Luka, because I think that we move the goalposts in terms of what's an MVP. Like every year, it feels like.
I think the eye test should tell you it's Luka. Nobody makes more insane shots than this guy on a consistent basis.
But Wembanyama is dominant, though.
He's 7'9", Tony. Come on, he just jumps up and he dunks the ball. I'm not taking that away from him, but he should be able to do that. And I know Jokic is a triple-double machine, but I think anybody would be if they got the ball in their hands on every possession, and he does. Denver never does a possession without him touching it first, so he's going to get assists. Anyway, they're all great players. Don't get me wrong.
I want Luka to win it. I want him to win it.
I think he should.
I'm just saying those are the arguments against him, it seems like.
All right, Mets 1.5 at the Giants tonight. Just a quick note, folks. If the Giants win, the Padres get the cellar to themselves, at least for a day. So I'll take the Mets, actually.
Why do you participate?
Because I'm crazy and I like to drive people nuts. They'll be alone at the bottom of the heap if they lose, if the Giants win. I'll take the Mets. Keep the Padres from that situation. Actually, they wouldn't be alone because the Rockies would still be tied with them, so never mind. The Rockies are still 2-4.
Give me the Mets.
Mets and Mets, okay. And we have Air Force baseball minus 1.5 at Tony Gwynn Stadium tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Air Force is 5-1. They lead the conference. The Aztecs are a game behind at 4-2. I know we're both taking
belt to behind this weekend, boys.
Let's go get these guys. Aztecs are 15-15. May not sound like much. I think they played a pretty good schedule, and I think they're way improved than the last couple of years.
There's no question that they're way improved.
Yeah, way improved. USD is 9-17, but they beat the Aztecs. So I think they're playing a tough schedule too. UCSD's home tonight as well. Against Hawaii. So if you're a college baseball fan, you have your choice of 3 games out there. And we'll leave it at that for our picks here tonight. Have you been to – you can't go to college baseball, can you, Tony? Can you fit that into your busy routine?
They play the same days we play.
Yeah,
so
it's really tough. Why do you suppose it's a different era, I get it. But when your dad and I were there, we got to play the Padres in the last spring training game, and it was kind of a bit of a tradition. Like for the Aztecs, it was really exciting. You get to go to the, Jack Murphy Stadium and play in the big ballpark. But Padres would play, and they'd bring all their regular guys, and it was a lot of fun. But that doesn't even seem like it's a thought anymore.
I don't know, man. I never got to do any of that, but I think it's been gone for a while. Like
Yes, it has.
By the time I came out of college, they were no longer playing.
Right.
I should say there were very few teams playing the local college. You might catch one every once in a while.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. It's we live in a world now where it's like, what's in it for us? Like, so like, what's in it for the Padres? Like, do they want to I don't know. I don't know why they don't do it, but I can see why. Players now may not be interested in facing.
It's a
maybe the
different
players
deal.
don't care.
Yeah,
It's just I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Yeah,
I'm not
just
gonna sit
leave
here
it
and
there.
act like I know. I don't know.
We don't know. I do know your dad got to play
it-
on both sides of that, though. He was an
I
Aztec
always
once,
thought
and
it
he
was
was a Padre once.
My dad had a picture of him in his Padre uniform and my Uncle Chris in the state uniform. They were
Right.
playing at old Jack Murphy. And I always thought that was like a cool deal. Like that'd be pretty sweet
Me
to like
too.
line it up against, but for whatever reason they don't do it anymore.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll throw it out there. Maybe they'll put it back into play.
I think we got to keep going for like another 3 minutes, bro.
That's what I'm trying to do here.
Okay.
All right. I want to the couple of baseball notes. By the way, the Twins won the first game today, or the only game played today
They
over
beat
the
the
Royals.
Royals?
Yes, 5-1. But a couple of notes from the week. Two really uncommon things have happened this week in Major League Baseball. One, Mike Soroka of the D-backs threw an immaculate inning. And that used to be a big deal. I think it still is. But I think that even happens more often now than what Sandy Alcantara did the other day, Tony, which was throw a Maddox.
Yes, he did.
A complete game shutout with less than 100 pitches. And I started thinking about this. Obviously, when Maddox was doing it and others before him, a Maddox was not a Maddox because it happened all the time. But I don't think that's necessarily all because of the way baseball is. The more I think about it, Tony, it's really hard to get through a game in 100 pitches now. Why? Because every hitter's trying to work the count. You don't just go up there swinging. And I think back in the, I'm going to go back to the 70s, 80s when guys threw complete games all the time because there was more contact, bat to ball. Ball was in play more. Now, a lot of swing and miss, a lot of takes. And so getting it through in 100 pitches is really not easy anymore. I think that's part of it, don't you?
I think it's part of it. I think the bigger issue is the zone shrunk. You know what I'm saying? So you're not getting. I mean, we can run it back to that Marlins Braves game where Eric Gregg is giving almost a full plate off the plate, and so like if I'm Greg Maddux and I got the kind of command that he has, and all I got to do is just hit a glove, it's gonna be a short day for me and a long day for you guys in the box,
right.
And I think that's the biggest part, and I do think guys have gotten better. The Yankees kind of really started this with this, grinding at bats, running your pitcher's pitch count up because they know you start to get weaker as you get deeper into the game and taking it. So that's a part of it too. But the biggest deal is the zone, and the ABS is only going to tighten that zone a little bit more now.
Have you noticed, we can finally get to the break now, but just real quick, have you noticed with the ABS system, I think something unintended has happened along with all the controversy and this and that and CB Buckner and everything. I think everybody's noticed how good the umpires are. When you think about the fact that there's 260 pitches a game and only 4 of them are challenged.
Yeah.
These umpires deserve a little, thumbs up. And I know we're focusing on Buckner and some of the missed calls, but I gotta hand it to these guys behind the plate. They're doing pretty damn well back there. So,
and listen, even for Buckner, it's a little rich, right? Because some of Buckner's misses, a lot of Buckner's misses were like an inch, which is kind of where everybody is, or maybe within the inch. But is that what we're really complaining about? Ultimately, we got something that can correct a guy like CB when he gets it wrong. So we'll leave it at that.
All right, break time. Gwynn and Chris rolls on. A little traffic check, I believe, coming up here.
Stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low. tandem student right there. I tried. I wrecked your good job, buddy. Fun, huh? You need help with anything? Okay, I'm nervous. Stand up, stay low. Hands on the heart. Stay low.
I believe it's my turn. Yeah, it is. Welcome back, Gwynn and Chris. 625 here in, how'd you say it? Baston. How'd you say Baston?
We had a guy that stayed in our fraternity many years ago, and his name was, he self-proclaimed himself Boston Bob. And he used to walk in and say, I love these accommodations. So we always give him a hard time. Boston Bob.
Are we going short here or are we going long?
Well, let's do, throw it up there and see what happens.
see what sticks.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if anybody thinks we really planned the show that carefully, they'd be sadly mistaken.
Yeah, we are missing our producer who decided to jump ship on us today to do his own show.
Yeah, I mean, what's that all about?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know at all. Where shall we go? Let's talk. Let's talk. Did you guys talk enough Tiger Woods?
I don't think so. I think it's still something that you need to talk about. I mean, Tiger came out today, or it was basically discovered today by looking at some of the body cam footage that once they told him he was under arrest for DUI, he was flat out stunned by the news. And again, we're not there. We don't know what's going on in his head. And I don't know that he's in denial necessarily. But I think it's fair to say that, he thinks that if he's not drinking, that he can't get a DUI. And so I think the lesson to people and anyone out there is if you have to take prescription medicine, and be careful, because I mean, this is something we can all use, because that's why he gets the DUI, because he's under the influence.
I think it's a pervasive thought in all of our heads that we associate DUIs with alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. And I know that because every time I drive up to 15, I see signs that say buzz driving is drunk driving.
Right. That's right. Yes, that's right.
Or something insinuating that you are, just because you smoke marijuana doesn't mean you can't get a DUI.
Right. Yeah.
And I think we know it. I think we honestly understand that, but like we have kind of put alcohol in the DUI kind of box, and you don't think of the other things that could happen.
Driving under the influence is what DUI stands for, but we think it stands for drinking. The D stands for drinking.
It's not. And I think that's probably why Tiger was like, what? I'm not drinking?
Yeah, the last thing I would never do. Yeah, come on, officer. Right. I'm in terrific shape here. Look, I think we're all crossing our fingers. We've talked about this part of it, but the Tiger gets the help, and I just hope he knows he needs the help, because that's where it has to start. And
I did see that he pulled out of a 2027. I think the captain for the Ryder Cup, he turned that down. I think that was for 2027. So that's a little distance away.
Yeah.
So I would hope that that's an indicator that he's taking it seriously. How ironic is it that the two guys that kind of, I know Tiger was in a stratosphere by himself, but his biggest competitor was Phil Mickelson, and they're both like going through separate issues
Addictive
right now.
personalities, Tony, right?
I don't know.
Could you say that or no?
Phil's is seemingly a family health matter is what.
What he's got now, but I'm telling you, the thing that kind of derailed him a lot was his gambling issues, though. Yeah. You can almost put Jordan in that category, Michael Jordan. I just it's not fair to lump everybody together. We tend to do that too often. But I think great athletes do have addictive personalities. I think that's something you can say for some of them, not all of them. Again, it's not fair to put everybody in the same boat, but I think it's something that maybe drives a lot of these guys to greatness that many of us could not achieve.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with that.
Okay.
I think that is what drives a lot of like the very, very greats.
Yeah.
They have the ones that have a hard time turning that off seemingly find themselves in a little bit of
fair
trouble.
Point.
I thought I don't know if you saw I think Michael Jordan was on 60 Minutes maybe this weekend.
Saturday morning, I believe. CBS Saturday morning. I watched it about the NASCAR stuff.
Yeah, man. Yeah. It was interesting to hear him say that, he was almost exhausted of having to live up to a certain expectation.
Yeah.
In the basketball world, which explains why he has completely removed himself from it.
You don't see Michael Jordan playing in any charity events.
No.
Yeah.
No, you don't. I don't even know if Michael's gone to a game in recent years.
Yeah.
Right? I think he is at home at NASCAR because, he can kind of build from scratch. So you don't have the same expectations there.
Yeah, but the other thing he said, which caught, which I totally nodded my head, was, I am so happy I am the captain or the owner of this team because now every Sunday I can compete. Yeah. He has to compete. Yeah, he absolutely has to compete.
At least it's in NASCAR, not gambling as much as it used to be, right? He's found a better way to direct it.
He's having a lot of success with it. Michael Jordan.
Sounds like he's changing NASCAR as we speak, too.
Yeah, with all due respect, we're talking about CBS this morning. I think it was Gayle King, you know who she is, the morning show host on CBS. Yeah, I get it. It's Michael Jordan, but she was honestly fawning all over him and telling him he was the greatest thing in the history of the world. And she couldn't believe she was doing an interview with Michael Jordan. I get that to a certain extent, but if you or I and Michael Jordan came on the show, I would want to say that to him, Tony, but I wouldn't.
Chris, you wouldn't say that to him.
No. I've interviewed him before. Ask Mark Ziegler. Mark Ziegler and I got him in the locker room at a Laker game one time.
Oh, wow.
True that.
I did not know that.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I can't fawn over but as soon as I walk out the room, I'd be, oh my God. I just hung out with Michael Jordan.
You would just keep it bottled down until it was appropriate.
That's now, fair. if I ever met Michael Jordan, and this is not going to happen, but if I met him in a social situation where I'm not interviewing him, I think it would be fair to go up and say, hey, thanks for everything. It was great. Yeah. I love watching you play. But not as a reporter.
Not as a serious reporter.
No, I don't think so.
All right, let's get to break. On the other side, I believe Adam has put together the Big Five today.
We are excited to hear this, Adam.
Yeah. All right, Adam, you're up next. More Gwynn and Chris.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque, see where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good.
Wow. Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight back left.
Straight back left.
Straight on that back wall.
This one?
Yeah.
How you feeling, Tony?
I don't know how I'm feeling right now, honestly.
Excited?
I'm definitely excited. Hello, Eric. How you doing? Pretty good. Wow.
Just like I told you, next to the famous Barney Dreyfus and Leslie Wilkinson, whoever they are.
That does look like them.
I know. It's a good shot. They don't do them all that great. That one's good. Really good.
I missed a year. 300. Must have been bad. Huh? I used to be. Not anymore, though.
Oh, it's so cool. What team did you play on?
I can give you a long list of them. Brewers, Padres, Dodgers, Phillies, Nationals.
What position did you play?
I played outfield. This was my dad. Oh, there's Dick Williams, Goose. I think he'd be pretty happy with his company over there. So.
What are you thinking of seeing it for the first time?
I'm thinking
I'm hot. I'm quite warm right now, but it's cool. I mean, it's what I thought it was going to be. I mean, who not too many people can say they have a dad that's enshrined in this place. So I think this is awesome.
What are we doing, guys?
I'm going to see the museum for the first time ever. It's going to be sweet. See my dad's plaque. See where Trevor's plaque is going to be. It's going to be pretty dope.
Chris,
I'm going to go to the Hall of Fame for the second time because I went earlier today, but I'm going in to see Tony go into the Hall of Fame. So all the way straight back left. That's where the Padres are. They'll play the Sox tomorrow morning, 11:15 for the home opener for Boston. Padres come in with the better record. Yeah, Padres are 2-4. The Bo Sox are actually 1-5. Tony and Jesse on the call tomorrow, following our show today, which ends an hour earlier at 5 o'clock, to make way for our first epic Padres roundtable of the year. You'll get a chance to hear everything Padres with all of the hosts coming up from 5 to 6 tonight. One quick prediction, Tony, for you. I think I've made this prediction before, but I'm going to make it again. The Celtics scored 53 points in the first quarter last night, 2 short of the NBA record. I am calling within the next year or so the first 200-point game in the NBA. I just feel it the way these guys are shooting now and playing
in a regular season.
Yeah, right. Not in an all-star game.
Right.
Because they've done that in an all-star game. I mean, I could see a team getting to 200 now. No? Are you buying me?
So. I don't think so.
You don't think they can make it, huh?
I think they can't sustain that. Like they had that 53-point quarter. You need 4 of those to get to.
I know, but
get to 2.
But we saw what happened with Bam Adebayo when he got close to Kobe. The whole game changed to getting him his 83 points. If a team gets into the fourth quarter with 160, I don't know. They might try for it.
It's a whole lot easier to get one guy off with a whole bunch of shots versus you kind of need the other 4 guys to hit a few of those buckets too. They may not have the hot hand.
Have you ever seen the way they're defending in the NBA? You just olay and let Jason Tatum go in and dunk the ball in the fourth quarter.
Why hasn't nobody got to 200 if it's that easy?
It's going to happen. I'm calling it.
Okay.
All right, let's go to traffic, and then Adam's standing by for today's Big Five.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Aller.
This traffic report is brought to you by Rivermark Medical. Jam-packed southbound on the 5, right by Balboa Avenue. Just a little bit past that, there's a crash. And then you have an accident on the 15 slowing you down south at the 805. The right lane is blocked. Rivermark Medical is conducting a rapid 3 study for Flow Stent, a minimally invasive device designed to relieve symptoms from BPH. Men 45 or older suffering from frequent, painful, or difficulty urinating may qualify. Learn more at rivermarkmedical.com. That's rivermarkmedical.com. I'm Sue Aller with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's that time of the show when we check on the latest in sports. Only the most important topics and questions are brought to light.
Stop what you're doing and listen.
These news stories will astound and amaze you. The one, the only.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
The Big Five starts now on 97.3 The Fan.
By the way, right now the NBA record for regulation time, you're safe, Tony, is 173. Overtime, 186. 200 is going to happen. Adam, I turn it over to you for the Big Five, filling in for Scraby and doing a hell of a job, making us not miss him at all.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
I'm going to start with the right number today.
Number 5.
Yes, you're learning.
In yesterday's Mets-Cardinals game, Francisco Lindor made a few mental mistakes that cost the Mets dearly in a game they ultimately lost 2-1 in 11 innings. In the first inning, he forgot how many outs there were and got the easy out at second base on a grounder by touching the bag, but didn't attempt to turn the double play and throw to first because he thought that was the final out of the inning.
Yeah.
In the sixth inning, he got picked off first base while he was fiddling with his batting gloves right before Juan Soto hit what turned out to be a solo home run instead of a 2-run home run. Chris, are these mistakes excusable by the Mets star player?
Absolutely not. I think you cut him tomorrow. They have to be, and he apologized for the brain cramps yesterday. I think it's easy for us to sit here and say you should always know how many outs, et cetera, and you should. There's no excuse necessarily for it. Doesn't mean it can't happen. I think Lindor is a pretty solid player. I don't think this is a problem guy, that I'm, like one more thing's going to push me over the edge. So I give him a day, but, he better not get picked off tonight, right? So, he better mind his P's and Q's here for a while, but mistakes. That's why they put the erasers on the pencil. These are tough to handle, I'm sure. And the Mets fans, I'm sure, will let him hear about it.
I'll ask a slightly different question to Tony. Whether you're the manager of Lindor or one of his teammates, how do you handle this as a former player?
He's not gonna make those type of mistakes. It's a one-off. I think as a coach, though, that, but I still think you might want to say something because The Mets, in this case, are a team that I think have underachieved over the last couple of seasons. And these type of one-off mistakes can be like a continuation of things that have occurred over the last couple of seasons while he's been there. And maybe just kind of like, hey, we got to make sure we nip this in the bud. New year, new us, all of that. But we don't want to be making. Yeah, we got to make sure we're on it because.
Sorry, Tony.
Because championship teams typically hold themselves accountable in a certain way. Listen, Giants aren't a championship team. However, when Matt Chapman felt like, hey, man, you need to catch the ball, something was said. And so I think because it's Lindor, right, it's not flip-flop. It's not the young guy. It's a veteran. He's given the space to understand, all right, he ain't going to make that mistake too often. But it's just something that he needs to be aware of. As Chris said, he fully owned both mistakes in that thing. Now, I will come to his defense on the first one. If you watch Marcus Semien, they're both running off the field. They both thought it was the last out of the inning.
Semien got away with it.
Semien skating away because if you watch, he kind of looked back up at the score, but like, oh, dang, there's only one.
He might have just turned to Lindor before and said, hey, 2 outs.
Here's the other thing,
you know?
and I don't know this to be true because I do these games all over the place. Sometimes they be having the wrong outs and strikes on the board. And so if you are depending on that board sometimes, every once in a while, you can get caught. You definitely can get caught.
One last thing I would say to Lindor as a reminder, hey, we finished tied for the wild card last year and lost the tie break. One game can make the difference.
And they lost by 1 run.
So there you go. Okay.
A little personal experience
Baseball is so savage, by the way. I mean, he gets picked off in the very next
pitch. Yeah.
Goes deep.
Right.
Most embarrassing thing to ever happen to you guys, either as a player or as a referee. Made a bad call, tossed the ball into the stands, not knowing there was only 2 outs. Anything. Had your cleats untied, anything embarrassing like that?
I misplayed a fly ball in like the 9th in Colorado, but Francisco Cordero saved me. He got out of the jam. We won the game. So I got to live it off, but it was, I mean, you guys see Colorado, how big that stadium. It was filled to the brim.
Nowhere to hide,
I'm running
right,
for this
Tony?
ball.
There's
nowhere to hide.
Yeah.
I can't crawl in a hole. I'm just out there. But my teammate picked me up, so I was all right.
I probably have a better one than this, but all that's coming to mind right now is the many times I've run back on a referee thing and tripped over my own feet and fallen right on the floor in front of the whole arena. That's not great. Half the people come to help you. Hey, old man, are you okay? You know, and I'm like, yeah, I got it. But yeah, that's all. It's all that's coming to mind, Adam. But thanks for the question.
My pleasure.
Just be grateful that you can still hit the hardwood floor like that and get up on your own.
Try to get back up. Thank you, Tony. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins continues to rake in the dough, signing a kooky 5-year, $172 million contract with the Raiders, though only the first year is fully guaranteed for $20 million.
I knew there was a catch.
Effectively making it a 1-year, $20 million deal. The Raiders are expected to draft Indiana quarterback Fernando Mendoza with the number 1 pick in this month's draft. Tony, do you like the idea of bringing in Kirk Cousins to mentor Fernando Mendoza and serve as a bridge quarterback until the rookie's ready to see the field?
Yes, I do. I think he's perfect for that at this point in his career. You get lucky. He has a ridiculous year. You can bring him back. There's no rush. If you're winning, there's no rush. Now, if you're losing, it becomes a ticking, a time clock type situation. But, yeah, no, I think it's a good signing for the Raiders.
You think he'll start week 1, Cousins?
Yes.
Chris, thoughts?
I think this is really good for the Raiders. It's a perfect fit. Kirk Cousins, by the way, with $20 million, this will take him over. I'm just looking this up. I wouldn't have it memorized. This will take him over the $300 million made.
I think
mark.
I think I saw second highest paid player in NFL history.
In the history of the league. Mama, please let all your kids grow up to be quarterbacks.
That's a great fantasy question that no one will ever get.
Right. Who's the second highest paid player in the history of football? Yeah, Kirk Cousins, of course. I don't know what to do with $300 million.
Must be nice.
Yeah.
The NCAA tournament resumes on Saturday with the Final Four, which involves the Michigan Wolverines. To celebrate Michigan's run, the Fab Five, consisting of Chris Webber, Jalen Rose, Juwan Howard, Jimmy King, and Ray Jackson, will will be part of an alternate broadcast on True TV and HBO Max while Michigan takes on Arizona. Chris,
yeah,
if you could only choose one broadcast, would you rather watch the traditional broadcast with Turner's announcers or the alternate broadcast with the Fab Five?
Well, I'm really partial to Jalen Rose. I think he's fantastic, and he's also funny. I loved his line about it being the High Point University, or the Wright State University instead of Ohio State because they lost,
Right.
something like that. But I also love Ian Eagle. He is, I think, really, really great to listen to. I can watch him all day. So I'm probably not going to go out of my way to listen to this, but yeah, I think it's great. I like these guys. I think it could be even better if you call a guy by the name of Steve Fisher and let him throw a couple comments in there too.
Tony, you got to choose one. Which one?
I'm partial. I'm taking the Fab Five. They are the reason why I love basketball as much as I do. Jalen Rose, when I got towards the end of my career, he was the athlete that I was watching and trying to kind of
emulate
as I moved into the media sphere. And I'm like Chris. I think the world of Jalen Rose. I would love to see more of Jalen Rose, honestly. But I also love Ian Eagle. I think he is one of the best, if not the best, callers right now we got going. And,
in any sport, too.
In
he
any
can do
sport.
them all, yeah.
He can do them all.
Yeah.
But I'm partial. I'm probably going to listen to the Fab Five guys. My dad, let me tell you a real quick story. I know we got to go. My dad, when DirecTV first came out, he got the black market hookup. We had a DirecTV card that had all the channels. I mean, it was every channel that was there. So I was watching stuff that was on the East Coast early. And I used to be able to watch these Michigan games before it became like a college basketball package.
Yeah.
I used to be able to watch these college basketball games, and my dad got it just because he knew how much I loved the Fab Five.
I think you should sit. We should both sit with Dutcher one day and let him just tell us Fab Five stories.
100%. I would.
The guy, I mean, he's the reason they came together. Almost, you can almost, take it all the way back to Brian Dutcher's recruiting. Incredible.
Number 2.
Speaking of the Final Four, Arizona's back in it for the first time since 2001, but many Wildcat fans are concerned about losing their head coach, Tommy Lloyd, who's been linked to the open UNC job. Lloyd didn't help alleviate those concerns when he said this last Saturday.
The sun may be shining on, this team and me coaching it right now, but when it's shining on you, you got to fight like hell to protect it and build it. And so that's what I feel like my number one responsibility is to fight to protect the program and fight to build it for those who came before me and for those that are going to follow after me. Because you know what? Arizona's going to have another good coach after me. I promise you. I mean, the place is special.
People latching onto that last comment about having another great coach after him.
What's his name?
Tommy Lloyd. He was an assistant at Gonzaga before coming to Arizona. He's linked to UNC. He was asked about his comments today.
How do you respond to people who are wondering if you're going to be the coach at Arizona next year?
Listen, I got my full focus on this team. Nothing is distracting me. And that's just how I've decided to approach it. I'm excited. I thought we had a really good practice today. I'm excited to plan for a practice tomorrow. And Myron, you've got to know me over the years. I'm a simple guy. I'm kind of just one thing at a time. I'm not a multitasker. You can ask my wife. So I'm 100% locked in on Arizona basketball right now, and I'm excited to see what this team can do. I have a real strong belief in this team, and this team deserves my full attention. So that's what I'm giving them.
Notably absent from his comments were, I will be the University of Arizona head coach next year. I'm not interested in North Carolina. Tony, if you were the head coach at Arizona and North Carolina offered you the job, would you take it?
No. What? Why? North Carolina is not North Carolina right now. Arizona is Arizona right now. I'm not mad at Tommy. Like, I don't have to say yes or no to something that hasn't actually happened at this point. Like, I'm allowed to lock in on the task at hand. And just because you guys want an answer from me, you want me to say yes or no up to something that hasn't been presented to me, that's not my fault. I feel like by even going down that route, I'm taking my focus off of the thing that I have in front of me, which is this Arizona team. So I went back and I'm trying to find, where's the connection? There ain't no connection. From Washington, coached at Gonzaga, went to Whitman. I think that's where he went to college.
Just a good coach having success.
You're right. Like, so I just think, I personally think it would be a bad decision to leave Arizona. That school has, despite the many head coaches they've had, has never really went away. UNC is kind of, if we're being honest, UNC has had it's kind of been up and down a little bit since Roy Williams, and even while Roy Williams was there for a hot second. So I think if I'm offered the job at North Carolina, I'm saying no. Arizona's got a good thing right now.
You wouldn't go form a dream team with Bill Belichick. Okay, got it. Chris, would you take the North Carolina job?
I wouldn't, because I like Arizona better, but I think Tommy Lloyd's going to. I have a sneaky suspicion, and I want to just throw one thing in. Roy Williams famously said after Kansas lost the 2003 title game to Syracuse, I could give a bleep about North Carolina. That was pretty much as he was
and
signing
he did
over
turn it down.
No,
the
he
first
didn't.
time, I mean.
Right, but in 2003, right after he said that, he became the coach of North Carolina. I think Tommy Lloyd's going, and that's fine. But I think what's unfair is that they're not letting him concentrate on coaching his team, which is what he's trying to do.
Right. Number 1.
All right, last one, guys. The Washington Wizards have apologized for an April Fool's prank that they say missed the mark. They did a skit during yesterday's game where a planted fan was tricked into believing they made a half-court shot to win $10,000. The Wizards said in a statement today that the bit was scripted and apologized for leaving other fans wondering if they misled the fan, but everyone involved in the skit from their staff was in on the prank. Chris? Did the Washington Wizards need to apologize for this?
Maybe if people didn't quite understand what was happening, probably the right thing to do. But speaking of this kind of thing, I direct anybody and everybody to the television show on, let me see if it's on Apple or Prime Video. It's called Company Retreat, Jury Duty. It is a total fugazi, and it is one of the funniest things I've ever seen. There's one guy in the show that doesn't know it's a fake show. Everyone else is an actor. Watch it. You'll love it.
Tony, what about you?
That didn't really answer your question.
Do they need to apologize?
No, it was ridiculous. People need to get a sense of humor. Like, what? Everybody else is in on it. They know it's a joke. It's a joke. It's just sad. Very, very sad.
Break time. Good job, Big Five, Adam. Very well done.
Great
Enjoyed
Big
that.
Five, Adam.
Yeah, if you want to keep Scraby away from our show, that's fine. Doesn't bother me any. We got Chris versus the fans coming up next. 833-288-0973.
I am an idiot.
He said it.
Tony Gwynn Jr. here for SD.
Good old Luke Robitel. That's hilarious. Welcome back, Gwynn and Chris, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello. Matt Scraby off today. He's idle as he has decided to take on his own show beforehand. Adam Klug sitting on the ones and twos today.
You should have seen the look on Big Frank's face when I came in after the Scraby and Frank show. Like,
oh,
thank God it's over. No, I'm kidding. I'm sure they had a good time and a good show. So,
Chris versus the fans on deck. 833-288-0973. Chance to take on Mr. Ello. I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and hop to some Chris versus the fans.
Let's play it.
Indeed, if you take down Mr. Ello today, you'll be qualified for a chance to win our grand prize, a 2-night stay at Fontainebleau,
yes,
Las Vegas, and $150 resort credit. March is no longer here, so I guess
it's an April thing now.
I guess it's an April thing. Fontainebleau, Las Vegas is the place to catch every game. High energy watch parties with expansive screens, great food and drinks, exclusive room rates, plus the pool and day club are open. Book your stay today at Fontainebleau, LasVegas.com. Now, all right, for those who haven't played Chris versus Fan, let me read you the rules. You have to make it through 3 questions. Each question will get more difficult. If you get the question right, you move on. If you get the question wrong and Chris gets the question right, you're gone. If Chris gets it wrong, then you move on to the next question or win. If you're a first-time
player.
First-time player, you will automatically move to the second round. All right, Mr. Klug, I believe you know who the contestants are.
Should have them here. Let you bring them on up, Adam. Or
let me put it in your board, but we got Mark and Vista leading us off.
Oh, good.
Let's go with Mark and Vista leading us off. Mark, how are you today, my friend?
How's it going, guys?
Very good, Mark.
It's going well. It's going well. Here we go. First question. What former? This might be a tough one. Let's go a little bit closer to a number. What college did Tony Vitello, coach of the Giants, where was he at before he got to the Giants?
Tennessee Volunteers.
Yes, he was.
There you go.
Very good. He was on.
Nice work.
By the way, I think we just take liberties at Tony Vitello. He was the national championship coach a couple of years ago, so it does have that credential to his name.
He definitely has the credentials as a college coach for sure. All right, question number 2. Kirk Cousin, we talked about him earlier, will have played for 4 teams now that he is a Raider. Name the other 3.
So it'll be Washington, Minnesota, and Atlanta.
Whoa, we got to play.
We got ourselves a sports fan here.
Yes, we got to play, yeah.
All right, here we go. Question number 3, chance for the win. What is the circumference of a baseball?
What?
9 inches.
Whoa! Go ahead, my man. That is correct.
He got it?
9
and
inches.
5 ounces.
And man, he got the weight
goodness.
and circumference.
All right. By the way, I'm making an executive decision. I'm making an executive decision. From now on, the game is going to be called The Fans versus Mark and Vista. That was crazy. Mark, great job, man.
Great job. Hang on the line. Adam will get to you in a second. I did not think he was going to get the 9.
I didn't either. I would, but he would have won anyway because I wasn't going to guess it. I didn't.
You didn't have that one, huh?
No, I've held one a lot, but I never bothered, to wrap a string around it to see how far around it was.
You know what's funny is neither have I.
Yeah. Why would you? Speaking of that, though, Tony, that brings up something that I want to throw out there while we have a minute here. You've got the women's NCAA Final Four tomorrow. And I think a lot of people are going to tune in, that are, obviously women's basketball fans will all be watching, but I think a lot of people will tune in because you got the big names. You got UConn, you got South Carolina, UCLA and Texas, all number one seeds. Gino Auriemma is not only, the greatest coach in the history of the game, but I also believe he's number one in terms of supporting and trying to make the game better.
Without a doubt.
And he brought up something last week that just shows how crazy screwed up we all are on a lot of different things. And he pointed out, first he read off a bunch of shooting statistics from the previous games, in the Elite Eight or whatever it was. And just about everybody shot 2 for 14, 1 for 16, 2 for 19. All of the shooting percentages were terrible. And he said, do you know why they were terrible? Because the NCAA decided that the best way to go for Elite 8 and Sweet 16 games is to use new basketballs. Now, Tony, you played enough basketball. A new basketball is the worst ball ever. That is not what you want. It bounces out of the gym. It bounces off the rim. There's no touch, no feel to it. And I hear stuff like that. And I feel for all of the kids that are out there playing because their game is being showcased and the people tuning in are going, man, these kids can't shoot at all. You know what? They can shoot, but they're making it difficult. Why do they do this to themselves? And it's always the NCAA that seems to be attached to this kind of stuff.
It's to the detriment of their own game.
Right.
And just for the sake of, it's not as though you can't, the sponsor, whoever was it, Spalding or
whoever
Rawlings,
it is, yeah.
Whoever, it's not like they don't have the ball on there. It's just not a brand spanking new one. It's just, it's a self-inflicted wound. And you know how the ball is a very serious matter to those who play it. Do you remember when the NBA tried to introduce their new composite basketball? It was a while ago now, and eventually they got to it. But they ended up shelving it for a whole year because players were complaining so much about the new ball and how it didn't have the tack and all the different things that they had grown accustomed to that they shelved it. And that's the NBA. They said, you know what? We're going to put this. We'll try this again next year. We can't get it through this year. So to do it this late in the year, I mean, you could have introduced these balls. Why do you have to have a brand new
absolutely
ball?
Unbelievable. Gino Auriemma, and he gets his place where he's at. So he consistently said during this interview, hey, I'm not trying to be bigger than anything. I'm just trying to do what's right. Because I think a lot of people look at it and go, oh, Gino Auriemma again, trying to tell everybody what to do. Right. No, he's not. He's trying to make the game
common sense.
Yeah, look good. We want to tune in and see these kids shoot 10 for 20, not 2 for 20.
You know this as a referee when you bring the kids to the center court.
That's right. The ball is a big deal.
They never pick the old ball or the new ball.
No.
They never pick it. They get rid of that bad boy. As soon as they touch it in their hand, it's out the way. Like they give it back to you.
Yeah, these things just bother me. I root for the women's game, obviously working with these kids, but, I want them to be successful. And I hear people, that, I watched the UConn South Carolina game. These guys can't make a shot. Well, how about giving them the best chance possible to make one? Right. I also think it's
why you have all these eyeballs watching.
Yeah, but I also think it is interesting, and it points out something, Tony, because we started this with the baseball. Every baseball is pretty much the same, right? Like the stitches might be a touch higher on one ball than the other, but they're pretty much all the same. Why can't basketball make one ball that everybody can use without having to bounce 12 balls before the game and pick one?
I
don't get that.
I think the action of the ball, like bouncing it, I think that kind of can change the ball a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like when you hit a baseball, it's got a core, it's got the core, it's got the string all around it. It's got it's You know what? I don't know. I'm gonna stop trying to pretend like I'm a damn scientist. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know it either. But I know that there's some games I do in the high school where we pick up the ball and everybody goes, it's a great ball. Let's go. Some games we're in midway through the first quarter and we're still trying to find a good ball.
This ball sucks.
Yeah, this is sucking. Roll this out of here. This is terrible. Oh, here's a good mistake I made, Adam. You asked earlier a mistake. I did a girls boys doubleheader one year or a couple years ago, and the girls game ended and they did not switch the ball out, and we started the boys game with the girl size ball. And one team hit a 3-pointer, the other team turned the ball over. Then we discovered it. Guess what the team who turned the ball over wanted? Can we start the game over again? I said, nope. Coach was on my back the entire way.
The rest of the game.
How could you let that happen? So, yeah, it's all part of the fun. All part of the fun. So,
all right, let's step away. Let's get to break. More Gwynn and Chris on the other side.
From the 855, get
Stuff like this one. Cecil and Prince Fielder, father-son duo, both ended their careers with 319 home runs. Yeah. Here's one that I like, Tony, that I didn't recall. The all-time record for most grand slams hit in one season is held by, do you know who? Tony used to play for him.
Ryan Sandberg?
Nope, Don Mattingly.
Don Mattingly.
Yes. Don Mattingly once hit 6 grand slams in one season. That's the all-time record. He never hit another one before or after that season.
Wow.
How crazy is that? I love fun stuff like that. Baseball can give you that. Hopefully we'll have something fun like that tomorrow when Tony and Jesse have the ball game. Padres and the Red Sox. Jackson Merrill has played at Fenway or not, Tony? I'm trying to remember. 2 years ago?
He played. He went off when he was here.
He had a good run there. Because I was going to ask you as a center fielder, I don't know if you ever played there. That's one of the quirkier parks, though, in all of baseball. So he's got to spend a little bit of time getting familiar with that before he runs out there again. Yeah?
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to play center field here. I only got to designate hit. It was a designated hitter here the year we came. And I remember at that time there wasn't like this all DH world. So like National League team rosters were kind of constructed for a National League setting. And so, they didn't have, I was a fourth outfielder on that team. And
right. So they put you in there. Yeah.
He was either starting or you weren't playing that day in the American League. And so, no, I didn't get a chance to play in this quirky one, but it is one of the most quirky outfields we have in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So I would imagine, would you go out there, if you were Jackson, would you go out there today or if they worked out today and throw the ball against the wall and see how it bounces and do all that stuff?
Not today.
Not today?
Is an off day.
Okay, but
tomorrow I'd been out there early or at least during live BP. And I wouldn't even depend on live BP, honestly. I'd have one of the coaches come.
Yeah, hit a few.
Bang balls off the wall so I get a chance to see the direction.
Right.
That type of deal.
Yeah. All right. We'll have some fun tomorrow. Right now, we got a couple of minutes and got the Final Four. I want to ask Adam this because I don't think he was here for this discussion earlier, Tony, but I know how you feel about it. I am leading my wife's NCAA basketball tournament pick'em pool heading into the Final Four, Adam. Only it is not my picks. I turned in Jay Billis's picks as my own.
So Jay Billis is leading the bracket.
Well, he's not because my name's on it, and he doesn't know he's in this.
I can't wait to hear Adam's take.
What is your thought, Adam? I think it was a smart move by me using the intelligence of somebody who is way better at this than I am. Tony thinks it's a bit of a fugazi, and if I win, I should probably come clean.
Send him some money.
Send everybody some money.
I'm less concerned about that, and what I'm more concerned about is just your legacy. One word comes to mind: plagiarism.
My legacy.
I learned the word plagiarism very early on. You are taking credit for somebody else's
Damn
work
right
without
I am.
giving credit.
If you print it out on the CBS website right now, from top to bottom, there's my name at the top of the list right now, my friends.
So that's fine. You can take the $180. That's fine. You got to live with yourself knowing.
I think it's over. I think it's over $300, Adam. I'm not trying to pop off. Here's the other thing. Just so you guys know, you can keep track.
Oh, wow.
I need both Arizona and Illinois to win Saturday to win the pool. So you can root against that happening, and then we won't have to worry.
Say it again. You need who to win?
Both Illinois and Arizona.
It's the only combination.
Only way I can win. But if they both win, then it won't matter who wins the championship game.
Yeah, if those teams win, then Jay Billis will be a happy man.
Jay Billis will have helped me win the pool. I couldn't help it, man.
Smart basketball man, dog.
He is, man. I've seen his picks before. I'm like, Jay Billis is too good at this. I can't beat him, so I'm going to put his picks in. I thought it was kind of smart until Tony brought it up and said, it was a bit of a fugazi. So
I got to be honest with you.
Are you mad?
One of my strongest takes is that I'm very anti-bracket. I don't like filling out brackets.
You don't even like to do the brackets.
I would go PSA, public service announcement, nobody should fill out brackets.
Well, I
think it ruins your experience of watching games or watching upsets because a 15's beating a 2, but you've got the 2 going to the Final Four, so you can't
root fully for the 15.
But you should. That's an amazing moment.
I see what you're saying, but
I don't. That's weird.
I see what he's saying. I don't subscribe to it.
I have never ever. I'll throw my own bracket in the trash if it means the team that I want to win wins. That's just if it works out and I get to I end up winning, great. I get to talk some trash to my teammates or whoever the bracket combination of people I'm in there with. But it has not once, since I've been doing this since I was a kid, since my dad was like the commissioner of these brackets, and going through circling all these things. Like,
you've never won one?
I've won one, but I've never been discouraged because of my bracket might be.
Or if the 15 beats the 2 and it ruins your bracket, you just throw it away and blame it on Jay Billis, right?
I can. You can't. I can blame it on Jay Billis. You can't, because it's your own picks.
Jay Billis.
God love you, Jay. If you're out there, Jay, and he's been on the show before, I love him, and we should have him on again if I win. He would probably.
If you win, we definitely got.
Yeah, he's going to ask for a cut.
He would probably ask for a cut, and he would deserve it. He would flat out deserve it. I could care less about the actual lettuce. I want just the glory of winning the pool.
Right.
Yeah, I just want the
glory. Those aren't your picks.
I'm taking the glory if I get it. All right, so let me ask you real quick, Tony. Do you think Illinois and Arizona, or how do you look at these two games, regardless of what I need to happen?
I really wish that the committee would have put Arizona and Michigan on opposite sides of the bracket. That's my first thought of this, because I think that should be the national championship game. That being said, man, Illinois is a dog. That team they're big. They're long, they're rangy. They all are like little clones of each other. They all feel like they're all 6'7". They all can shoot. They all can handle the ball. They play a tough brand of basketball. I think they beat Iowa. I think they're in.
You mean UConn? They beat UConn.
I'm sorry, UConn.
Yeah,
UConn.
Right.
I think they beat UConn, and then I think that Arizona's going to head on to the final as well.
Okay, so Tony's predicting Jay Billis and I win. Based on that, I will say this. I think Illinois they've surprised me. I didn't realize they were this good. They lost 8 or 9 games, but I did hear their coach interviewed, and their star player, the freshman Wagler, number 23, Tony, kind of handles the ball, makes a lot of athletic plays. The coach didn't know what he had early in the season, so he wasn't even using this guy. And when they first played UConn, he only played like 9 minutes in the game. Yeah. So they're really a different team. UConn beat them.
So is UConn, though.
But UConn's different, too. And here's the thing with UConn. You know this, Tony. You've seen it. Illinois is going to have to beat them Saturday and then take a stake and put it through their heart. Because 1,000%. You could beat them and they'll still come back and win. They just proved it.
You just talked me into taking UConn now.
Okay.
UConn.
Yeah.
I'm taking you. Because I forget about that part. Like, as much as I enjoy watching Illinois play, because I saw them. I happened to see them a few weeks before their own conference tournament. I think they were playing Michigan State, it was a very tough ball game.
Yeah.
And their toughness is not to be questioned either, but UConn's on a whole other level. I think there's a belief in that team that you as you said, you not only got to beat them, you got to drive a stake through their heart in order for them to get them out of there.
They are going to be so hard to beat. Arizona, Michigan is a fun coin flip game, but I'm rooting for Arizona. However, if Michigan wins, guess what everybody's going to say? It's all because Tommy Lloyd was thinking about going to North Carolina.
Of course,
and that won't be fair to Michigan, because if Michigan beats them, they deserve it straight up.
They've been the best two teams from start to finish, in my opinion, and to this point. I should say from starting to this point, they've been the most dominant two teams, Michigan and Arizona.
They're both fun to watch. Don't forget, Michigan beat all these teams by like 30 points this year. They beat Tennessee so bad last week. Dusty May, by the way, fun fact, was the coach of Florida Atlantic when Butler hit the shot in the Final Four. Now he's at Michigan. So something to keep in mind. Yesterday, by the way, was the anniversary of that shot, Tony. Just thought I'd throw that in there for us Aztec fans.
It was running all over Twitter.
And I watched it every time.
I think I'm in a group chat with some of my baseball guys, and they had it running through there as well. So
everybody's been watching it. We have. How about Georgia in the NCAA? Adam, anything?
I don't think they showed up.
Pretty sure they did.
Still haven't won a game in 30 years.
30 years.
High Point can win a game. Georgia cannot.
It's with all due respect to your school, because you are a great football school. I mean, to be as powerhouse and money laden as Georgia, how do they not win an NCAA game once in 30 years. That's really not easy to do with their resources. All right. We got one final segment, and then, oh, man, you're all going to get to hear the epic roundtable at the top of the hour. Stick around. More Gwynn and Chris coming up. Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance of all time. Chipper Jones, Padre fans remember him. Every fan of a National League team remembers him because he would come in and do damage to that team. Only the second number 1 overall pick in the Major League Draft, Chipper Jones, to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. The other is Ken Griffey Jr. Vladimir Guerrero. Never met a pitch he couldn't swing at. And powerhouse hitter for the Expos. And then, of course, the Angels at the end of his career. Jim Thome, over 600 home runs, mostly with the Cleveland Indians. And then, oh, yeah, the guy down here on the end who used to get all these guys out all the time, Trevor Hoffman, the greatest Padre reliever of them all. Two of the greatest outfielders in the history of baseball. Of course, you've got Babe Ruth right here. Ted Williams right over there. I was wondering who the third outfielder would be. And then, of course, it hit me. Tony would be upset if I didn't say that the third outfielder, who will someday probably be displayed right here between these two guys, is obviously Mike Trout. And this is the San Diego Padres locker room here in Cooperstown. Obviously, a couple of jerseys there and hats, gloves, all-star stuff. I think the most interesting thing in this entire display, though, especially this weekend, is a picture in the top corner of Angus Young. He's the guitarist for AC/DC, wearing a Trevor Hoffman uniform, obviously playing Hell's Bells. I know that Trevor went to many AC/DC concerts and was honored by sitting in the front row to watch AC/DC play Hell's Bells in his honor. But there's a picture of Angus Young playing Hell's Bells for Trevor Hoffman, wearing the 51 jersey right there. Chris, hello. Yeah, we're here in Cooperstown for 97.3 The Fan. So excited, the induction weekend for the great Trevor Hoffman. What a class he's going in with, too. Let's take a look. Of course, Alan Trammell from Kearney High School in San Diego. And then, of course, the Detroit Tigers, great shortstop. Jack Morris in a Tiger uniform there, but I always remember him pitching that 1-0 shutout in Game 7 of the 1991 World Series for the Minnesota Twins. Maybe the greatest postseason pitching performance.
Sorry, I turned my mic off. Forgot I turned it off. Welcome back, Gwynn and Chris. 7:35 here in Boston.
At least you're awake, Tony. At least you're awake.
Hey, listen, I'm not going to lie. I have resisted that bed until like the last segment went off. And I went and laid.
Did you hear that story, Adam? Some lady stopped me in the airport and said the thing she remembers more than anything else was the day Tony could not be found.
Those are the types of things that stick. People remember.
It is. It's crazy, man. That everyone's going to remember that for some reason forever. But
well, Chris, we have another about 25 minutes to cover here.
All right.
And I have no idea where to go from here.
Well, I hadn't thought of really anything either. So,
it would be nice if the rundown, has some stuff in it.
Well, our producers, just gone away,
thrown under the bus,
throwing him under the bus. Of course.
Yes, not you. It's our producer.
He left us. He left us
hanging today. Yeah, very barren.
He left us barren. Tony, let's go back to the Padres just a little bit.
Yeah,
we have some time here, and a couple of things that I'll be honest with you. I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I don't overrate the first 6 games, but I want to ask you just a couple of things that I've noticed. And again, it may sound like I'm overreacting, but I don't know how else to say it. One, I'm overreacting to Nick Castellanos as a left fielder. I didn't like how he looked out there. And it wasn't just the throw to the wrong base. To me, that was a mistake. He just looked very uncomfortable out there, Tony. And I should give him a few more, but I wonder if they're going to give him a few more out in left field. Remember, he's played right field most of his life, and he's not a renowned fielder to begin with. I'm not asking you to criticize or whatever. Am I over, do I have to give him more time, or did he look a little uneasy out there?
I think he looked better than Gavin did the first time he was out there.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's fair to say.
So, I mean,
and Gavin got pretty good, actually, after a while.
Exactly. So give him some time. He'll work his way into shape there.
All right. Secondly, how long before Luis Campusano honestly just can't get it out of his head anymore? And I'm being the fact that he doesn't have a hit since August 31st of 2024. I want him to get a hit so badly, Tony, but it's been 34 at bats over this strand of time. I don't know how you go to the plate and get that out of your head. The guy crushes the ball at AAA. We all want to see him start crushing the ball for the Padres. How do we do this? What's best?
We don't do anything. We sit and watch the game. I think Luis will eventually pull himself out of it. I don't think he's thinking about August 20, whatever.
Yeah.
That's a long time to be thinking about, like, he had a whole off season. Not to mention all the at-bats he had. I don't think he's thinking about it from that standpoint in terms of, man, I haven't got a hit since August, whatever day.
I know.
I don't think he's thinking of it that way. I just think, listen, you need at-bats in order to get better at those type of deals. And I think he's going to get at-bats, and he's going to get a hit, and we're going to get past this, and he'll be fine.
I hope it breaks loose. All right. Here's something I would do. I'm not Craig Stammen. Late in the game with a 1-run lead or a 2-run lead, such as yesterday in a tight defensive type 3-1 ball game, which it was until the bottom of the 8th, I think you got to put Ty France in for the time being as a defensive replacement. And on days when he's not starting, I would also consider Bryce Johnson. Your thoughts there? Because I can understand why you keep Gavin Sheets in, because you don't want to tell Gavin Sheets you don't trust him, but You got Ty France, who won the Gold Glove last year, sitting on the bench next to you.
Well, I mean, I disagree. I think
Okay.
until Gavin actually does something wrong.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know that you're preemptively taking Gavin out and telling him we don't think you can play D late in the game when he hasn't done anything that says I can't play defense late in the game. I know you have a guy in Ty France who won a Gold Glove, and he's going to get plenty of opportunity, especially when there's lefties in there. He's probably going to be the first baseman on most of those games. But I just right now, I think Gavin looks terrific at first base in terms of the defensive side. I forget the hitting side. I think he's looked fantastic defensively. So I don't see a need to put him in. Now, Bryce Johnson, I agree with that. I think late in the game, you put him in left, take Ramon out. I think Bryce is the better defender. In terms of catching the ball, I think Luis said, I think Ramon has the better arm for sure. But in terms of going to get it, covering ground, I think Bryce is the better defender. So I can see that one for sure.
All right. Let me see if I can come up with a couple of more to give you a hard time. I don't really have too many more. I mean, I'll say something real quick.
Yeah. I think it's important to remember that Craig is in his first season as a manager, and it doesn't matter whether you've done it before or not. I played for two guys that managed at other levels but hadn't managed at the big league level, and these guys were, I mean, one was should be a Hall of Famer in Don Mattingly, and the other was Ryan Sandberg, who is a Hall of Famer, and they both struggled with decisions early in the year.
Yeah.
And they both got better as the year went on. You know why? Because you kind of have to go through those situations in order to actually get better at those situations. So I would just say be mindful of that. He'll get better as the season goes along and understanding what he needs to do and when he needs to do it. And he's got to go through those things first. It's inevitable.
Don't you understand, Tony, that the fans don't have time?
No, I do. I very much understand.
All right, I'm going to give everybody a little preview of what's coming up. We have the Epic Roundtable. One of the questions that's going to be posed to us, or was posed to us earlier, you'll hear our answers, but I want to hear your answer, Tony. Ben asked about the leash, for lack of a better word, but for Walker Buehler and maybe to a bigger extent, Germán Marquez. How do the Padres negotiate this with hopefully Musgrove coming back, with Griffin Canning, with some other possibilities? Is it – I don't think – I thought Walker Buehler was fine. Obviously, Marquez didn't pitch the way we would have liked to have seen him. How do you handle that? Would you if it was up to you, or, how do you think they'll handle it?
If it were up to me, I agree with you. Walker wasn't as bad.
Yeah.
I think he's still figuring out. As you mentioned when we talked about it, he navigated the first time through easy.
Yeah.
It was the second time through and throwing not throwing exclusively breaking ball, but really didn't throw the four-seam fastball very much at all. And I understand that he doesn't have the velocity he used to. So he's trying to figure that part out. I have a lot of faith that Walker will figure that out. Now, Germán is a different story. Germán pitched a lot like he kind of pitched during spring. There were he struggled to command. When he wasn't struggling to command, he was getting hit because it's in the middle of the plate. And I don't know that his rope will be as long, especially when you have Griffin Canning coming back soon, right?
Yeah,
and then
I hope.
Not soon, sometime in the near future.
Right.
You got hopefully Joe Musgrove coming back soon. Then you got some options down there in AAA. I mean, we'll see. I don't know that the AAA season, when it starts, or have they gotten started yet, but I'm sure McKenzie is going to be somebody that Tristan McKenzie,
sure. Yeah.
that they're watching down there, because I think they knew going in, right? It wasn't until Joe got hurt that all of a sudden, I think Marquez was really in play at that point. I think he hadn't really thrown the ball great at that time. And I think his time was running out. Only Joe got hurt, and it allowed for him to kind of have a little more time. He looked a little better in that time, but I don't know that his his rope will be as long as Walker's.
I hate to see these things, and I hope it just, reverses course. Because I've always been a German Marquez fan, except when he's sticking it to the Padres, which he used to do from time to time.
Did, yeah.
This poor guy never got to pitch anywhere but Colorado. He still made an all-star team despite that. He's gone to the mound, except for I think last year's the only 2 years he's ever been hurt. Just a real good competitor, just a solid guy that goes and gives you everything he's got. But
he definitely is a guy that gives you everything.
Yeah,
I mean, his record last year speaks to that. 2-14. He kept running. He kept going back out there.
he never said he was hurt, right? He just kept going.
An injury or a mental issue or whatever it is, that happens from time to time, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
you're right.
He's gonna take the ball if he's asked to.
Yeah, I'm rooting for him, and but I'm afraid that if he has 3 innings, 5 runs. Yeah, that might. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it's such a competitive world out there right now. It just is.
That's a fair thought at this point. I mean, unlike last year, where and let me not forget Matt Waldron too.
Yes, another capable guy.
He threw the ball well during spring training. We'll see what he's doing during the year. His velocity was up to like 94. Like that's a different ball game with a knuckleball versus the 90, 88, 90 he was throwing last year. So. We'll see. I think they have options down there this year, which is why they don't have to stay with the guy as long as they may have last year at the same time.
But don't you understand, Tony? If they don't win these next 3 games, the season's lost. You can't mess around with this stuff.
I do understand.
Yeah.
Hopefully they don't lose the next 3.
Right. On the other side, we've got we know Michael King tomorrow. Randy Vasquez, Saturday, 110. They're going to be throwing one of their prospects, by the way. Connolly Early is his name for Boston. But let's talk about Vasquez. It's crazy because we're talking about Marquez going the other way. We're talking, Walker Buehler trying to find it. Almost all of last season, you and I fielded calls that said, can we please stop running Randy Vasquez out there? Is there anything that can be done? I can't watch this guy. It is hilarious to me that here we are 7 months later. We can't wait to see him pitch on Saturday.
Facts.
Like we're so confident.
Facts.
Right?
I think this is why you don't remove a guy like Vasquez. Without all of that experience last year, the ups, the downs, the traffic cop, the getting in and out of, jams. Without that, you don't get to this version of Randy. And the one guy I think that Randy's going to turn and thank at some point is you Darvish. He has been watching him pitch the other day. He had a lot of you in him. Early, soft, hard fastball, to finish guys late, like pitching backwards. Like that's something I don't know that Randy had in his repertoire before. Now, going out there and watching his spring training and the seriousness that he came into camp with. I don't know if you guys noticed, but last year that was kind of the conversation coming in spring. He came in a little out of shape, wasn't ready. Fastball was at like 90, 91. He came in just way more serious. It was a very professional approach to the spring, and he looked the part in game 1 of his starts. I mean, that version of Vasquez was the same guy we watched in 6 weeks of spring training.
Yeah, I agree. It's just interesting, right? I mean, he could not. You were just praying on the days he pitched. Now you can't wait.
Development also means enduring the struggle part of the development. Like you can't just develop on a upward trend the whole time. That just doesn't happen. Like, and he,
we don't have time, Tony. I told you.
And so it's a great point, right? Like last year, there was a lot of, wringing of the hands of Randy Vasquez, but I think last year is a big reason why he's throwing the ball the way he has through spring training and at least through the first start. He got a long way to go, but
sure,
it's a definite. Everybody, even those who didn't like watching him pitch last year, have to have noticed there's a different. This is a different version of him.
Millhouse Studios, home to the Gwynn and Chris show. We know how. Chris Ello, Tony Gwynn Jr. is in Boston. And the series starts tomorrow at 11:15 a.m. So, your Friday, get things sorted out, the way you have to. I did want to mention we get Sonny Gray pitching tomorrow, right-hander for Boston. I'll tell you one thing that I'm really tired of talking about, Tony, so I'll throw it your way for a minute. Okay. What's the lineup going to be tomorrow? Where's Fernando going to bat? I don't know. I'm a little tired of it, honestly. Here's my take on the lineup, and I'm going to stick with this for a while. When the guys are hitting, it doesn't matter where they're batting. They're going to score runs. And guess what? When the guys are not hitting like they did the first week, I don't think it matters that much where they bat either. They're not going to score runs. The lineup is so overrated, right? Or no?
I think I don't know if it's overrated, but we put way too much emphasis on the lineup. I think ultimately, whether Toddy's leading off or Crone's leading off or Bogey's leading off, I think you said it. When those first five guys are hitting, it really doesn't matter what else happens after that. I mean, in terms of the lineup and what's going to happen when those guys are hitting, the lineup is legit. Like we saw yesterday, or was it yesterday? Yeah, like we saw yesterday.
Yeah.
But when it's not, it looks like, no one cares.
Yeah. We heard that all week.
Looks like these guys don't care.
They don't care.
They just started the season. They don't care.
I tried to explain to people, when you ground to short, run up the line, turn right, and go to the dugout, there's not a lot exciting about that. There's not a lot you can do.
Could you imagine if someone rolled over to second base, ran down to first, got out, and was like, "Yeah!"
Jumped and pumped their fist.
Yeah.
Ran over to the guy on deck and said, "Hey, you can do it, pal." And then all the fans would go, "Wow, they care."
They wouldn't do that.
Let's help people get home real quick with a traffic check.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center. Injured? Demand justice. Demand Jurowitz. 855GetRoss.com. Here's Sue Aller.
Traffic is brought to you by Park 101 in Carlsbad. Watch our boys take on Boston this weekend. Southbound on the 125 at the 8, there's a crash. A debris spill south on the 805 at the 8 takes out the right lane. San Diego baseball lives at Park 101. Watch our boys take on Boston while enjoying game day specials like $5 Estrella Jalisco, $10 bats, $6 Wells plus green tea and screwballs all game long. Big screens, big fun. Park 101, downtown Carlsbad. I'm Sue Aller with Gwynn and Chris, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we got just a couple minutes left. Again, I mentioned it'll be King and Gray tomorrow, but the Padres will see back-to-back lefties on Saturday and Sunday. Early, the prospect is a lefty, and then Ranger Suarez is now with Boston, will pitch Sunday. And you brought this up earlier, Tony. You go to Pittsburgh Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. You get Bubba Chandler, who is a less heralded version, but still a very good young pitcher. And then we get Paul Skeens for the first time. And then you get Mitch Keller, who I think has really been the Pittsburgh ace for quite a while. So it's not going to be easy. Colorado comes in here next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the Padres return home. The Rockies already have as many extra inning wins this year, one, as they had all of last season. Drew Goodman warned us, Tony. He said the Rockies are going to be better. It's early, but they look a little better, I must say. They got 2 out of 3 in Toronto. That is something they could never have done last year. So it's early season going here. And, let's I don't know. Does everybody do this? We got to have a 4-2 trip. We got to come home 6-6. I don't know. It's one game at a time, I say. How's the booth at Fenway, by the way? Is it? Aren't you right there? Like, if you're not paying attention, you can get conked with a foul ball.
Oh yeah, you can get taken out for sure.
You can get taken out.
It's not a whole lot of space. It's not quite Wrigley, but
Wrigley's closer. Okay.
No, I'm saying in terms of the space.
Oh, right. You're jammed in Wrigley. But I thought Wrigley. At Fenway you're kind of hanging right out over
you are, which is a good view for the broadcasters, but it's a dangerous view though, nonetheless.
Yes. And I want to thank, I said this yesterday, but I don't know if you saw it up on the board yesterday, Tony, but every time Helio Ramos comes up now, I guess forevermore, the Petco Park scoreboard people are going to remind everybody that I caught one of his foul balls in the press box last year. I thank the Padres for continuing to put that up there and making my achievement live on. Thank you, guys.
That's a good one. I always chuckle every time I see that one.
I couldn't believe somebody said it to me yesterday, and I said, "Oh, it still lives on." All right, Tony, thanks. Have a great night and good call tomorrow. Adam Klug, great job. I think you get to say goodbye too, Tony. Sorry.
Oh yeah. See you guys tomorrow. Well, I won't see you guys tomorrow, but we'll be back tomorrow. Have a good night.